Hey, welcome back to the Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's August 13th, 2024. It is a Tuesday in August. Nature is healing. Always Be Running is back. AlwaysBeRunning.net. It's back online. I've heard JNet's running pretty good. Tuno's winning events. You know, it's good. It's good. Everything's good. How's everyone doing? It's been a wild weekend, I think. There's been a lot of events going on, mostly in Europe. There's a lot of European events. It was German Nationals last weekend. You can watch that, mind you, on, I always say it wrong. It's not Gyrometics, it's Gyrometrics, if I'm not mistaken. YouTube, Gyrometrics. Funny enough, if you search this, I think oh no, hold on. Huh? Okay, so we'll link it in this one, but if you go to YouTube, I'll just go to the Métropole Grid. It's my homepage. No big deal. And if we go to the last stream, on the last stream page, there's a link here, and that takes you to German Nationals on Gyrometics. It's Medics, that's why I was doing it wrong. You can watch German Nationals, it was streamed here. Let alone there was a UK event, I want to say Midlands, but it was another really big event. There's a lot of stuff going on. So welcome back, Nature is Healing. Hilaria, how's it going? Welcome, thanks for the follow. I get the Twitch notification that you followed the channel. Welcome. Hey Wiki, how's it going? Cool deck list of the week, huh? Hopefully you're well. Don't call me a gamer, you don't know me. Hey Phil, what's up? Steven, happy Tuesday, stream friends. In Montreal, we have a GNK in person in like 5 hours. Are you going, Steven? It's like kind of in my neighborhood. But yeah, there's a GNK very casually. Again, you can find out more on alwaysberunning.net. Montreal GNK Expedition. It starts at 5:30. So we're probably going to finish the stream. We're going to eat a quick dinner, and then we're just going to pop over there, which is good because I haven't been out to Tuesday Netrunners because largely we stream on Tuesday afternoons, and it's hard to do everything all in one afternoon. But we'll get there. Albie, how's it going? How's German Nationals? Hey, Augustus. Hi, stream. How you doing? Cool lot says Andre, you're raising the bar on prizes. Now my local players are asking me to pick up crochet as another hobby. Entirely shout outs to Maddie. We put out a video, mind you, just yesterday talking about some of the prize support and everything you need to know about NANPC Montreal. NANPC Montreal, August 24th and 25th. I'll update the Always Be Running really soon. But if you want to watch the video we put out yesterday, it was meant to be brief. Last year when we did this for Canadian Nationals, the video was like 20 minutes. Now it's 30 minutes. I honestly hoped it would be like 15 minutes. I kept telling my partner, I'm like, hey, Maddie, I'm going to go record this video. It'll take me 20 minutes. 1 hour later, in fact, like 2 recording sessions. He says phenomenal every like third word, like yikes. Anyways, I'm really stoked. The event is coming up soon, and we seem to have all our ducks in a row, which is really exciting. Jed Guzman Lynn, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Adam Fraser, hey. Hey, Cinderin. Hey, Alec. How's it going? On Discord, it was saying that you were playing a certain game. I forget the name, but I looked it up and it looked pretty fun. Hey, Chet Big Thing. Must be a Tuesday. Métropole Grid is live. Welcome. Hi, stream. Hi. I don't know how to say your name. And there's Gyrometics in chat. Yo, how was the Nationals? Were you there? Were you streaming itself? I know I was talking to Etienne and she was doing work to get the overlays out to people. Looks like it's working great. So there's a bit of an overlay package, which is phenomenal. Also, Wiki did some casting. Wiki's in chat. I tuned in a bit onto day one. I was like super surprised at time zones. Apparently it was like 1 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm like, how's it final round? As if that doesn't make any sense to me. Battle Brothers? Yeah, it was Battle Brothers, I think. German Nats was the best. Hey, good to hear. Glad you had a good time. We've said this before, the German Netrunner scene, just like the UK Netrunner scene, used to be some of the biggest Netrunner scenes historically in the history of the game. We're talking about many, many moons ago, back in FFG days. It's really cool to see with UK regionals. Obviously, some of these are selling out. They've had huge responses, huge numbers coming out to regionals. It's cool to see that coming back. I know Germany, when it comes to like the old head play group, a lot of them have dispersed a bit or maybe not playing, but Germany used to be like the biggest scene for Netrunner. And it's really cool to see more like European players, German players come out and play because they had a great scene back in the day. Hey, Yeti, I showed my girlfriend who's a big knitter the prizes and she was impressed and immediately refused to ever do that for me. Maddie's laughing in the other room. Maddie also said, by the way, that the patterns that she's using, we're going to attach them to the video. Just so if you do want to make yourself some birds, again, they're not her patterns. They're just patterns we found on, like, I think mostly Etsy, maybe Ravelry. I think mostly Etsy. So if you want to make your own tokens, you can do it. Take some time, take some effort, take some stuffing as well. But if you want to do your stuff across the pond, It takes a bit of time, let me tell you. I can promise you that. Battle Brothers is a lot of fun, turn-based strategy roguelike game, but it's super punishing and you'll need to reload saves a bunch. Okay. I can see myself getting to stuff like that. I'm a big tactics person. Turn-based strategy is, I think, tactics, right? I've been enjoying Elden Ring, mind you. I bounced off Elden Ring really hard when it came out. I played it for like 30 hours and I'm like, nah, not for me. And for someone who played all the like all the Souls games, just about all the Souls games, I was really strange. And now I'm back in it. I think I mostly have to thank Jeff, because Jeff was doing some live streaming and playing some Elden Ring. And during, what was it? What was the thing that we cast recently? During Cascadia, during the breaks, Jeff would just live stream privately into the caster's booth his runs at Elden Ring, and he finally beat Margit, and it was like really, really fun to watch. But I'm getting into it and I'm having a great time, but also not the perfect time. I don't know. Like, has anybody played Elden Ring? Because I'm now on my technically like my third run of it. I've never beat it. I've always got to a certain point and stopped. And now I'm the furthest I've ever been. And without sounding like a brag, I'm now participating in a bunch of the other mechanics in the game. I used to be one of those people with the self-imposed restrictions of, oh, I'm not going to do summons. Oh, I'm not going to use spirits. I'm just going to use dodge and then attack with my sword. Like, I'm going to play like it's Dark Souls 1. And then I think the game didn't satisfy me, because a lot of the loot you found was, you know, here's a bunch of wizardry stuff, and here is, you know, another summon. Oh, you got your mimic tier. Like, I didn't want to touch any of that stuff, and now I am. And now the game's too easy. Yeah, Manny's mocking me in the other room saying I'm so good, but like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I'm going into fights and I think I might just be over leveled. Not that I'm grinding, but I'm going into fights like Radan, who's the guy on the little horse, like him. I just did a dude, his name is like Elmer of the Briar, who's at the top of a tower. Like, I'm winning these boss fights first try with one summon, like my spirit summon, and it's not even like close. Like, I don't even get to see their moveset. Am I just over leveled? Like, I don't think I have a busted build. I only learned about what soft caps were, but like, I'm genuinely not feel like I'm going into a boss fight to be like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this, you know, 6-7 times to learn their moveset, and it's just like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what Radan does. Like, the horse guy like became a star for a moment. That was really cool. All my friends were out there fighting me, and he. Am I ruining the game for myself? What summon? I was using how's it going, Kato? Started a quick coffee break, Elden Ring rules. So I was originally doing militiamen, skeleton militiamen, because they have the skeleton trait, so they can reborn. So they actually end up taking up a fair bit of aggro if you want to play like that. And recently I just got the mimic tier. So when I did Elmer of the Briar, I just had my mimic tier guy, who was a copy of me. It cost me like 600 life to summon it. And then like I don't understand what his moveset was. I'm not sure what's happening. The end game really drags it. Don't blame me for not finishing it. I think I bounced off before the end game. I think I bounced off relatively soon. Like, last time I bounced off the game, like the main time I bounced off the game, I got to the Volcano Manor, and I didn't get further than that. But this time I'm having such a better time. And maybe it's because I'm now appreciating how connected the world is. That gives me some Dark Souls 1 vibes. They nerfed Mimic Tier early? Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I knew when the game came out, Mimic Tier was like super, super cracked. My build is like, I got 2 Wolverine claws and they do bleed damage and I can light them on fire. And so like the blood pop happens every once in a while. And honestly, like, I'm not that good at the game, but it's been kind of easy. And it's not just the Mimic Tier. I got the Mimic Tier recently. But like, I got through whatever the lady at Ray Lucario, like second shot. It's just been going fine. I don't know. It's been suspiciously too easy. Mimic Tier tends to do that. That's the only summon I would recommend not using, purely from a game enjoyment perspective. Amel, I appreciate it. And I only got Mimic Tier recently, right? Like, I've still been doing bosses without it. I upgraded my militiamen for a while. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure. It's strange. It's just definitely not the difficulty I wanted in a Souls game, which is like, I sound like a pretentious guy who's kicking ass, like, oh, it's, you know what I mean? Hey, Joe, how's it going? Good day. How you doing? Kraken, welcome to the stream. Hello, how you doing? I missed this before. Played Pagan Fate of Roanoke on Gen Con, which is an asymmetrical dueling card game inspired by a lot of Netrunner, according to the designer team. I think it's worth checking out. Hey, I actually played Pagan. So I had a copy of Pagan, Fate of Roanoke. If you search this thing up, I think there's going to be a lot of players who are interested in it, because it is a game that's asymmetrical and has information as a major resource in the game. This game's been out for a while. I played a French copy. I know a company in America is now putting it out, so it'll be not exactly localized, but easier to get. Because I think the only place that you could get this is from Warm Gold, which is a European company, and you had to import it. It was just not as easy to get. But I know now at Gen Con, and I forget who's publishing it, but there is a North American publisher. I think I bounced off of it, so I played a friend's copy. Paul showed me how to play this thing. And it was in French, not too bad. The cards don't have that much text, and my French is good enough that we can play it. He's a French-speaking person. And we played it. In short, the long is it's asymmetrical. One side plays as the witches, the other side plays as, you know, the sort of Inquisition, the witch hunters. And it's meant to be this sort of like, 1587 Americana thing where there's, you know, people are getting burned on the stake. It's obviously a bit dark. The tone is not overbearing unless you worry about the historical relevance of the whole thing, but the idea is that there's secrets and like, I forget the names of the mechanics because it's been a couple months since we played, but basically you have to convince people to work with you as a witch, and you're trying to you have like a secret identity. One of these villagers is technically who you are, I believe, and you have to protect that person while the other people are trying to hunt it down. At any point in time in the game, I think there's some setup, they can just start executing people. They only have, I think, 3 executions, and if they mess it up, they kill the wrong people, they lose, and I think if they find the witch, they win the game. I didn't have a great time with this thing, and I think it's the sort of game that's going to require a couple plays for it to be really interesting and really good. I know there's some like really effusive reviews on this game they've been on Board Game Geek for a while. In fact, the top review is from somebody who used to make Netrunner content. So a lot of Netrunner fans, I think, are going to like this for many, many reasons. But from my experience, and I've heard this from also Paul, who taught the game, I think he's getting rid of the game. He just will trade it away because it was not for him. But we played like a 2-hour game, which I think is representative of us not being very good at the game and not understanding how to push the game forward naturally to its win condition, which I think is a bit tricky. And then flat out the last turn of the game that took about 2 hours came down to a 50-50, where I had to make a move, and if I was right, I win the game, and if I was wrong, I lost the game. From my experience, that's happening to a non-zero amount of people, and I do worry that this is a bit of like get good. I know certain games like that also bounce off really early and seem really, really silly. Like Doomtown is one of my favorite card games, and when a lot of people play the first games of Doomtown, they just go all in, and there's one bad shootout and decides the game, and it feels like, oh, we played 2 hours and it was one shootout. And then once you get better at the game and you understand the systems, you don't end up in those situations because you can do something better for you than 50-50. But from my minimum experience with the game, it felt pretty plodding. The basic actions felt really, really comparatively weak, and it didn't feel very exciting. I think most of the things I lost to are the power plays, or somebody playing a card from hand that did something, which is the sort of like Magic the Gathering feel. I'm not a big fan of like big effects from hand type gameplay that like cancels and destructions and stuff like that from hand. But that was what was more controlling the game than the plodding table play. It was really, really plodding. There's like a lot of actions that did minimal incremental changes on the board. I think I'm excited to hear what other people say about this because more people are going to see it, but I was very, very looking forward to it. I was very excited for it, and I walked away from it being like, I'll probably play that again to see if it changes, but it didn't land for me. It really didn't land for me. Hey, Jad, how's it going? So like 2014 Netrunner / J. Actually, how's it going? How's your weekend? No, not that bad, because 2014 Netrunner, like, at least you can, it's more fun. I don't know. Drawing cards is a good one. It's a good one. Hey, Sven, Capstone is printing it out. Oh, that's it. Yeah, Capstone Games is putting it out. So you should be able to get it locally. And again, if I don't seem effusive about it, I think a lot of people will like it. I think I need to get good. We probably weren't playing. I don't think wrong, but like, you know what I mean? Wrong, not rules wrong, just like tempo wrong. But it's probably a bit better than that. Pagan's neat. Rohit, you enjoyed it? How's it going, by the way? I have that en route. Love checking out a Gen Con. Best viewers? Oh, hold on. I need to destroy this thing. Yeah, it was strange. It was a game I was really, really stoked for. And I played it. I was like, I don't know about this. Ban. Okay, they're banned. Let me catch up on chat. But in general, the summons tend to have the biggest jump in difficulty since a lot of boss difficulty comes down from aggro management and dodging. Oh yeah, Kato, I think that's a problem is like, now I'm participating in the game. And if I'm not mistaken, the creator of Elden Ring recently put out an interview and he was very honest about it. He said, I'm not actually very good at these sort of games. And the way I can beat these games is using, if I'm not mistaken, he said like using all the tools in the game that are provided. Because the game has a lot of different ways to make yourself better at the game besides learning how to parry and dodge and all that sort of like skill-based stuff. So like there's a lot of items, which I'm not very good at items. I'm not very good at consumables. I actually really don't like them. They make me kind of anxious in certain ways. Like, I'm never going to use a rune arc to give myself +5 to all stats for 1 life. Like, I'm not going to do that. And so I'm going to end the game with like 30 rune arcs in my bag. Hate it. But like summons are a big part of it for sure. And so like, it feels, if I want something that's interesting, I just should choose to not participate in a large portion of the game, which is strange. And that was the problem I had before. And so now I want to participate in more, like use a bit of, I didn't use Art of War, Ashes of War, whatever they're called. Like the first run, I just didn't touch them. And now I'm touching them and they're good. But what if you need the one-time items more in the future? Better save them all. Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah. But think of also like the lineage. Like, what about if my generations below me are like, hey, do you have any of those? I accidentally ended the game with like 4,000. Oh, and accidentally in the game. Yeah, 100%. That's what's going to happen. I really. Andre, use the rune arc. I'm not using the rune arc. I'm not doing it. I don't know. I have problems. Hey, Eric, how's it going? I love summons. People who grump about them should keep the gatekeeping to themselves. I have no intention of gatekeeping. I hope it's very clear. It's just like, I don't understand for what the game was balanced for. Right? Like, is it up to you to decide what your balance is? And then, like, I don't care if you did or didn't use them. I can't figure out what the game's balanced around at this point. Look, this item is clearly very powerful and needs to be saved for an important encounter, I say at the final at the final boss battle. It's 100% that. Like, I don't like it. And then what I don't like more about it is there's the understanding that there's stores that will sell you rune arcs. Like, there's vendors that have rune arcs for sale, and they cost some amount of runes that isn't a lot. It's like 4,000 maybe, which if you're at that point in the game where you're considering using rune arcs, that's not an absurd amount of runes. But now you're telling me that if I want to use this consumable and then I run out of consumable, my job as a person enjoying games on their free time is to go grind runes so I can buy items so I can use the one-time items again. Like, it's not a farming game. Like, we're not out here playing what is Harvest Moon. Like, I don't want to participate in that. I just don't like consumables. I don't like the whole crafting system. I'm mashing Y to pick up every single Roa berry that exists. For what reason? Literally do not know. I don't think they have market value. I'm going to end the game with enough like Roa berries to make up the mausoleum they'll bury me in. The tools are there for use for sure. And I did an int build and had no qualms kamehamehaing some bosses to death. You know what? So I was one of those people that played Elden, the Souls games, and never touched like incantations or pyromancy or any of the magic, because I was like, get an axe, and when I played Dark Souls 1, get a shield, and then I obviously got good. But part of me wants to participate in all the magic stuff and have a mage, because it seems really fun. It genuinely seems really fun, but I don't understand any of the systems. Like, I pick up a thing and it'd be like, to use this, you need intelligence 16. And I look at my dopey intelligence 8 guy with like 40 agility. I'm like, well, this is not useful for me. Am I going to respect myself and use a consumable, a one-time consumable to respect myself? No. Oh man, but I'm mad jealous. I wish I could be recommended a build that does like a medium amount of both physical damage while having a conventional weapon and then some amount of magics. Hey, Cror, magic wasn't anywhere near as usable in the Souls games. Oh, it's worse? For my YouTube recommendations, it doesn't seem that bad. Also, shout out Cror. We had a bunch of people join our alliance for Marvel Snap. Mind you, you can just search it, and then you have to hit an invite, and then I'll invite you. There might be some people in there I don't know who just joined, not through the channel. But Leviair Lab Access is actually popping off now, which is really, really cool. We have people who are doing more work than I am, which is really, really nice. And it's also cool to see how hardcore your friends are to Marvel Snap secretly that they never told you. But if you want to join, search Leviair Lab Access. It's like a guild, and we just have goals that we do that gets everybody free stuff. So if you're playing Marvel Snap, check it out. Shout out to everyone who joined. It's getting good. Did Nick join? Yeah, Nick joined, and Nick is like, he's an infinite player at some point. He doesn't play that much. But we have players that are like, I think most of the people in the guild are infinite, and I'm not. I'm trying to be because I feel left out. But Nick joined. He figured it out. There was no spaces in it. There's no spaces. Oh my God, feed your horsey maniac. The horse doesn't, Torrent doesn't need the berries. Hey, Kevin. I mean, it's doing easy content to make hard content easier, but it's not even content. Like, if the content is farming souls so I can go shopping, that's not content, that's a job. Like, I do not take any satisfaction in it that they arbitrarily put up a series of steps. Like, I'd rather spend that time getting good and just grinding the boss. Like, to me, that's a problem. Is if I spend an hour bashing my head against a boss, oops, I just hit something. And then the idea is I could spend 20 minutes farming to get a rune arc so I could use the rune arcs. I'd rather spend that 20 minutes getting better at the boss, like learning their attack patterns and dying incessantly. Hey, Russian Nats happened last Saturday. We had 18 people, which is an amazing number. Yo, let's go. 18 people, that's huge. Hey, well done. A friend and I played a game of Pagan, and I thought it was cool. I did feel less like there was more Yomi involved and less economic strategy, but I feel like that was due to the decks being weak. Yeah, there's a chance when it comes to Pagan that it opens up with deck building. I'm not sure what the core set options are. I think I just played whatever was pre-constructed, but I know the game already has a bunch of expansions that add new mechanics and stuff like that. And it might be an interesting deck building game. But yeah, for us, it came down to a fair bit of Yomi, and like Paul did a cool play that made me think that he thought something that was actually incorrect, and he did that on purpose. But like, honestly, the end of the game, 2 hours in of grinding micros, things came to a 50-50 to be like, it's either this or this. I'm just going to take a shot. And didn't work. Roguelites are good for players with consumable hoarding anxiety. Oh yeah, they are. Gailhar, how's it going? They really are. They're much better when you have one run. And I actually really like how people, especially like top tier players, look at things like potions and Slay the Spire, where it's like they will make choices based off what potions they have currently, and or the potions are super important all the time. Like you never want to hold a potion unless you obviously think in the next fight you can do better with it, because you obviously need to be winning the early fights to power up. I think it's a much cooler way. I think there's so many game mechanics. Like I don't like loot games. I don't like farming games inherently because the way they make me think about consumables and like items in the world, like it's weird. I feel like it has some effect on how you think about things, but at least I like those. This is my issue with Bloodborne as well, as much as I liked it. Bumble, how's it going? I got to the final boss of Bloodborne, and then I put the game down for a couple weeks. And then having to pick up that game and remember how to play it at a high enough level to beat the final boss, it is the worst mistake I've ever made. I have to now replay all of Bloodborne to have a chance to see the ending. You're one of the players that keeps consumables for a sequel? Been there? Yeah, Tullival, it's been a good sequels. You get more of those consumables. I love that they added the respec mechanic. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it opened up so many options for me to try new things rather than being locked into one build like in Dark Souls. I do think that's another kind of problem with the something that disagrees with me with the Elden games is like, to make any weapon usable, you have to sink a bunch of resources in it to get it to the level for it to make sense. And so now I'm picking up new weapons and I can't tell if they're good, because clearly they do worse than my Wolverine claws, because my Wolverine claws are like pretty highly invested in. And so when I pick up a cool like katana thing, I can't tell if it's worth looking into because the numbers are shit. And then I do the attack patterns. I'm like, that's pretty good, but not like, am I going to go spend, you know, X amount of smithing stones to make it better? Like, I can't tell. I generally don't like investing in weapons because it just means all the weapons you pick up are like functionally useless besides being attached to another investment. It's so difficult. I don't know. There's a bunch of this part of these games that don't like align well with how I think about things, but it's fine. We're not feeding the animal. No, Torrent is a ghost. Torrent doesn't need food. I enjoy that I'm now the time to shitless Snap Alliance reminder. Happy to be of service. No, Cror, your name is there. There's a bunch of people, but I recognized your name. And then I was like, Maddie, that's Cror. You know Cror from helping us doing some judging stuff back in the day? War of the Ring, play for 6 hours, ends in a 50-50 most of the time, and it's so good. Sven, the card game or the board game? We own the card game, and we've never been able to play with more than 2 people, which I think is where it's better. I've never played the board game, though. It looks sick. It was zombie survival games for you. David, that's exactly it. From a game design's perspective, one way to fix hoarding issues is to introduce an inventory limit. Or, like, do you know what those consumables that well, admittedly they're not consumables, but the sort of consumables I like are things like the not the Estus flask, the other flask you have that you put your like little rocks into it. Because that is once per life. That's what I like. I want to be able to use my resources intelligently on the run, like creatively, tactically, whatever makes sense, sometimes in a panic. But then, can they just come back always? Right? Like, I like that a fair bit more. Obviously, Estus flasks are a good way to make me feel comfortable using health potions. Like, imagine the Souls games didn't have Estus flasks, and I think one of them didn't. And instead you had to use actual consumables. No, I would just be like, I'm going back to base. I'm coming back like that was a bad run. Like, I'm just not going to use health pots. Right? I like that so much better. I don't know. Using consumables, I have issues. I think I have problems. The board game's fine. Yeah, I've heard people like that one. I just learned the past week that Anthony Giovanni is the creator of StimHack. Yeah. That was Sneaky Sly, if I'm not mistaken. I thought you knew that, Eric. Yeah, the 2 big people behind Slay the Spire, and one of them was one of the original, like, unoriginal Netrunner player who made StimHack. Is it .com? StimHack has since been taken over by other folks. I think mostly Snare Bears at this point, but StimHack was founded by by one of the two people that makes Slay Spire, which you can tell, card game people, huh? I do think it's funny that Pagan has what is basically a score out win or a kill win. No, that's true. Yeah. I like War of the Rings 50-50s more though, because it's not a 50-50 that one player sets up against another. It's a 50-50 that the game set up against a player. Ghost might need food. Also, it's a ghost horse. He said more than 50% chance to need some food. I don't think. Yeah, that's Bloodborne. It is Bloodborne, but I think in Bloodborne eventually you do get a flask, don't you? At the beginning, you're using like those shards of whatever, and it's awful. Demon Souls also doesn't have Estus Flask, just a lot of grass. Yeah, like I don't like that where it's like I'm gonna go farm for 20 minutes so I have enough grass so that I can do this part of the game. Like, please respect my time. I just don't care for that. When is your partner gonna give us the ASMR making a video of one of those Stitch prizes? So it's like each one of these takes. How long do you think it takes to make a bird? I know the numbers. They might be frightening. It's pretty long. The Fizzarms are easier to make because they take less sewing, because these you have to like crochet and then attach them because they're multiple pieces. And then obviously eyes and the feet also get stitched on at the bottom. These take a while, but it's mostly just Maddie on the couch watching like X-Files or on her iPad, just plugging along. 90 minutes, it's 60. It's about an hour. These take the most. This one's huge. The yarn's really big, but these take a long time. Yeah, oof. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a fair bit of work. That's for sure. I think Maddie's coming out to the GNK tonight just to hang out and knit. Just get an excuse to get out, which is great. People watch the X-Files in 2024? Yeah, they do. Jaina is super laggy is the last hour. Oh, Larea, I was reading that is actually pretty reasonable. Here, just give me 1 second. All right, we're good. All right, let's do a quick recap. That's enough Elden Ring. I am many hours in. Please, the problem I'm having is I'm just too good at the game. But a lot of stuff went on this weekend. We definitely want to do some gameplay stuff. There's some really cool decks that are being uploaded. Specifically, Girls Archetype is finally seeing competitive play. That was even a shout out, if I'm not mistaken. This will make more sense in a bit. But during the AMA, that the SBL team, one person asked, like, what are some cool decks I can play that don't play, I'm not sure if the question was don't play World Tree, or I think play Coalescence and not World Tree. The idea is somebody asked, like, what are some Shaper decks with a specific condition? And Tuno linked 3 decks, and one of them was a girls deck. So there's a bunch of tournaments. We're going to look at some reports and some results from what happened. But one of the big tournaments this weekend was it single-sided? It was single-sided, was the Midlands Netrunner Regional. And so this is a series of tournaments, mind you, that are across the UK. These are the UK regionals. We had Not Yeti on a while ago talking about these, and these have been a huge success for 4. I think there's like 6 or 8 of them. This is the second one so far. And like, if you look at the player base here, for a community run tournament, you know, that's not an official thing. Like, it's not a nationals, not whatever. They had 47 people. The one before it, I think was like 50? Oh, it was double-sided? Was it double-sided? But the one before that had about 50 people. It sold out. So they're doing really, really well. And I'm stoked that people are coming out, let alone people are organizing events of this size, which is phenomenal. 6 regionals, they keep selling out. Hannah, how's it going? Yeah, it's really, really cool. It was single-sided, so it's 52 people. Okay, very, very cool. So notably, and I think we can go to the TraceX Substack to look at the results a bit better here. You might see the top cut. There's a lot of green. In fact, the whole top 8 cut is, of course, Rotom Appliance and then 7 other Shaper players. And not only any Shaper players, Akiko Nisei shows up as half the top cut, which is really, really, really funny. For those who don't know, Akiko is from Rain and Reverie and saw 0 competitive play for a long time, in fact. And there's a bunch of reasons. 1, Link is good. 12 Influence is not great, as much as 10 Influence Shapers right now are doing relatively well. And then an ability that pressures R&D. You play a side game, and reveal spend credits if you and the corp spent the same number of credits acts as additional card. They announced UK Nats to 140 seats. Yo, that's huge. So the idea with this card is that if you run R&D and pay 0, the corporation has to pay 1 credit or you see an additional card. Classically, people don't like abilities like this. Like, it's cool that no matter what, it'll have financial repercussions on the game, but in theory, you're giving your opponent a choice, and then sometimes there's no payoff. If I want to run an R&D, do I want my corp to pay 1 credit, or do I want to see 2 cards? That's actually a question that the answer to that changes on many board states against many corps and many different amount of credit totals. So it's kind of fascinating. Also, the whole story about the Nisei clone line is cool. This is the first ever Psionic Nisei clone, and Akiko's a really cool character. Now, Out comes Rebellion without rehearsal, and not only do we get one of the most cracked Shaper sets of all time, we also get a lot of cards that work really well with Akiko's ability inherently. Firstly, do you want to spend credits running R&D? Do you want to see more cards? Have you heard of Trick Shot? Cror in chat saying girls is great, but also solidifying my Trick Shot is meta warping opinion. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about Trick Shot. I don't know. It does too much. I'll be honest. The way I feel like this card does way too much. I think it's cool that there's interaction cards, there's multi-axis, but like there's maybe one too many two lines on this, because when it hits, there doesn't feel like there's a lot of cool things you can do against it, the corporation. It doesn't feel like a trick shot. I do think it feels a bit more like a hammer. But 4 credits on this event, run R&D. If successful, not only do you get 2 more credits, you see an additional card. And these 2 credits you can use on the side game. Bring your Fencer Flanner if you need to. But the idea is now Trick Shot runs R&D, gives you this 5 credits for the run, and then you see 3 cards potentially. That's just a maker's eye, obviously, with a lot of upside. Obviously, the side game matters. And then there's a bunch of other cards in the set that line up really well with the R&D and incidental R&D multi-axis as well. So we're looking at Pretty Mary to Silva. Pretty Mary, now when you're running R&D, the threat that 0, 1, or 2 credits that the corporation spends is not do they see an additional card, is do they see 2 additional cards. So you have set up on every board state potentially run R&D C3 cards. And there's more to that too, right? Like this deck is playing Iru Ayase Pessoa, and I'll come back to that because I think we've seen a bit of this archetype before. I've been a bit upset about it. But now running archives, all this stuff works together. And then there's other cards you play like Nyasha if you want to. And then you can, you know, run R&D C3, 4 cards potentially. I just need to double check whether Akiko's on breach or on successful run. Whenever you breach, so this works with anything that cheats an R&D run largely. Some things say when it's successful run, but this is just a breach. So if you run archives, Akiko will fire with Iru. Problem is people keep reading the card. Every time you read it, does something new. I think the European champion won every side game in its cut against Rotom. Oh, really cool. Really, really cool. So all this stuff comes together and it's really, really functional. And so mind you, also I've seen other lists. And I'll talk about the other lists, I think, in a second once we look at the original list too. But there's like Beatrice Gonzalez you can play. There's a lot of other cards in this set that are inherently pretty synergistic across the connections package when it comes to pressuring R&D. In theory, Beatrice works. I'm a bit dubious about it because Beatrice feels a bit slow. But inherently, we have a fair bit of pressure on all central servers across, you know, this deck. Like Psych Mike, who only triggers on successful run R&D. Yeah, Psych Mike is the one that I always have to recheck. Psych Mike says when you make a successful run. So Psych Mike sees no play as much as Psych Mike was meant to be. And it came alongside Akiko. It's the sort of thing that works together. I've never won a side game in the history of my Netrunner time. Not true, but what it feels like. Eric, so whatever you think you're going to play, just bid the opposite, right? Like sometimes it's good to know you're bad. And then you just don't be bad by choosing not to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I would have gone 0 here, then just go 2. So easy. So easy. Sometimes you can pay a credit to access an additional card. Yeah, sometimes you can. Yeah, sometimes you have to. So this is a huge list. And not only is this a great list, this is a cool write-up. Harmon P. So a deck I made because of finding Pretty Mary de Silva. Really pretty. Turns out to be quite good. Here's some accolades for the deck. And like, I just want to read this because it's a really nice write-up. Firstly, highest run and win rate at Bristol Regionals, 86% according to the surveyor. This is Tracek. This is Kikai's blog. We'll open that in a second. With a slightly earlier version of the deck, 6-1. First at our EMEA champion. Second, our EMEA champion. So that is Chuno, who came in first under a different handle, our anonymous friend, playing at the Midlands, traveled up. Second is Ace Empress, who Ace Empress also brought in, if I'm not mistaken, Ace Empress, she's been grinding what's it called? Thunderbolt. I don't think Thunderbolt did particularly well, but it did win one of its cut games. Mind you, the top cut in Midlands was single elimination, which is brutal. 7th hello, 8th AM's place at Nottingham Regional, 13-4 between those 2 players. That is between those players. That is an incredible standing for a deck like this, let alone a deck in general. Not like this, but like, I think Akiko people are surprised, but that's just a good number for any deck. After coming dead last, the Nottingham Regionals, Lovelace then came 3rd in the August EMEA AMT by smurfing his Blatra, which none of the QEH were aware of. I am so stoked that there's a testing group called Queer Earth Hub, which is also a phenomenal name. Actively pushed my transition forward by making me comfortable calling myself a woman one day after its first tournament outing. Yes, this deck can make you more trans. That is so cool. Made Akiko with glasses become an emoji on the Scottish Discord server. I'm not actually convinced that any girls players are in the Scottish Discord server. I'm as bewildered as you are. Okay, let's have a meme before I tear up. There's a fun meme there. It's a great write-up, and it actually links to other stuff that was written up. So I believe here Harmon B wrote up as well. This was shared within QEH, but a bit of a list about how to play the thing. And so if you want more information, then you can find it at NetRunner. It's linked in there, which is really, really, really cool. So you can see all the talk about what works and why things work. I haven't fully read through this yet. So if what I say disagrees with this, agree with the article, don't agree with me, kindly. But this is obviously really well written up, and you should give this a read if you want to play more of this. Phenomenal. Mind you, Tuno came in first in the event, playing a slightly different version of this deck. It's the same idea, but a slightly different version. So this is on 47 cards. Again, we only have 12 influence. And so you see here, the econ engine here, we have a bit of Aesop's Pawnshop, we have environmental testing. This is the sort of list that's running Coalescence without World Tree. So just using Coalescence for like some sort of tempo value. Sing 2 Lilypad too is just like, you know, an option. We have 16 events. Could you play Onicom? But it's more so that we want the 2MU, and we're going to get that card draw somewhat consistently. Same with Simulchip on the corpse turn. You can do it. You should do it. And then you just have like that sort of Shaper utility package. The Breaker Suite is weird. It's super weird, right? Like you have Ika, which is not hyper common outside of Trojan support, like Arasana, as much. This card is a Trojan. It's eroded. Pressure Spike, which is technically a Fractor. It's good for the big stuff, not really great for that much else. Propeller, which is good for the early stuff. This is really, really cool. Check out Sokka's list on the front page. And then Unity. So a strange Breaker Suite, actually not too weird. I think Tunos is a bit more interesting. And then you have that sort of like spice. You have Copulation. So you have HQ multi-axis and a bit of tech into stuff. You have 2 pinhole threading, which I really like. I want to play 3 pinhole threading most of the meta. You have the Eero, you have environmental testing, and then you have everything else you expect to pre-show, which is a really good target off SMC. Only one SMC, mind you. Muse is mostly our tutoring card here. Unity versus Oilers is a big discussion, and Muse plus Ika is very, very real. Muse plus Ika. Oh yeah, Muse plus Ika is cool, right? So you can pull it out with the Muse and get that onto the table. Same thing as you can Muse into the Copulation. You can Muse into Breakers technically, but you can't do it from hand. Like I think that's a weird thing with this deck and Muse is like, because you can't install this from hand with Arasana, you have to kind of call with the ices or face check a bit more, I'd imagine. Economy of the list. Pawnshop is cool, testing is cool. You also then have creative 1 rigging up, which I'm not sure if there's better targets than just to get a Coalescence down. A cheap Lilypad is cool too. But pretty cool stuff. Propeller too if you want another countering. And then Tuno's version is slightly different. We're trimmed down to 45 cards and it's playing Oiler, which is sick. This is a cool card too if you have some extra recursion with like Muses and Simulchips. It's also on 3 Lilypad just to get that as consistently as possible. We're still on Aesop. We're on 1 environmental testing fewer. I think there's a Fenris in here, and 3 pinhole threading is what I want to be playing competitively. I'm glad that other folks are doing it too because it's just super goofy. See the 3x pinhole and it's quite all right. Even the econ slots here, like we're of course on 3 trick shots, 3 sure gambles, 1 creative. I think this list is on just 3 creative, no sure gamble. No real run events besides the trick shot, if I'm not mistaken. Like where there's no dirty laundries, no surprise. Overclocks, it's a slots problem. I think you're getting enough work done, obviously, from your trick shot, but just kind of really cool. And a bit of the influence moved around too, because we're not on clot here. And I think the write-up talks about that you have like a couple options. The other list is on, I think, Fermenter as well. So there's a bit of flexibility there. Burner, yeah. The decklist programs left on the board to scoop with Aesops, so Muse is better than SMC. Yeah, I 100% believe that. Is that you have some amount of value from the Aesops. 1 spec work, I think, is in both lists too, which is a nice little tempo Aesops in the early game if you need it. Really, really cool. Hey, Pat, you coming out tonight, by the way? Happy Tuesday, hey, Doc. Let me catch up on chat. Thanks. Now I'll be a second champion. Side game is just Monty Hall when you're bad. You should always give your opponent the chance of Monty Hall. It'll only make your stats better. We had a psych in older versions of girls, but finally cut her for knots, and it was definitely the right choice. Thunderball was 2 and 2, including the cut. Yeah, I won 1 game in the cut, I think, and then 1 game important, a single elimination, and did win a game. And I think it was somebody picked that matchup. I'm pretty sure the higher seed picked that matchup, and maybe I caught them off guard. We have a game recorded. I have to put up, I'm working on Cannats footage right now, but we have a game against Ace Empress when she was training for this event, playing this sort of like harmonics based Thunderbolt, or like a harmonics twist Thunderbolt. It has a bit of harmonics in it, but not all the harmonics. It's cool. What is Knots? It's the Midlands Regionals, so which was in Nottingham from my understanding. Yeah. Let's Girls. WooTube was playing this yesterday. Yeah, I haven't been able to catch up on the WooTube stream yet, but I know Woo's Bahrain was playing something like this, I'm imagining, based on the title. This is really cool. Now, when I originally saw this list, this sort of idea and this sort of list has been around for a while, and I think we haven't seen it at any sort of tournament, but I've run into other versions of it, and the other versions, like I want to admit, were making me kind of salty. This was on stream. I think I was talking about this sooner than later, but I saw versions of this that are just like, you know, tunneling central servers and doing that sort of good stuff, which, like, I'm not saying this deck is, but I saw versions back in the day. They were also like, for their console slot, they were on Hermes, and then they were also running the HQ one, what's her name, Beatrice, to run central servers, and it made the entire game plan to be like hammer R&D to death, and then hope the corporation gets locked because our Hermes will never make them able to score out or feel safe about it. And I know I had a discussion about this like a month or two ago that I felt like this set was really good. Obviously, look at Trick Shot and making the game more about R&D being somewhat viable, as much as I don't think Putma is particularly viable. And I think what's said about this deck in the write-ups is that this deck pressures just about everything really well. I think right now in the standard format, it's hard to ice up every single server. And against Shaper, and admittedly with only one burner is the big HQ pressure, you do have DJ Fenris in the other version that Tuna is playing. I think it's really hard to defend all servers in a relevant way against a deck like this. Like, this deck does actually put on a fair bit of pressure. Like, Iro coming down in the mid to late game is 3 cards on R&D every turn. Like, that's hard to deal with. You need to now ice up archives. Obviously, you need to ice up R&D because of Akiko. You need to ice up HQ against burner and stuff like that. And then obviously you need to score in the remote server. Like, it is genuinely way more pressure than any other Shaper is providing, it feels like active pressure, as opposed to like late game, time is taking pressure. I have to play this more. I know there's rumblings, or at least the message on Trace X Subs Akiko is writing is there's a chance that this deck is better than Lat. And yeah, there's honestly a chance it's better than Lat. I wonder if you just make changes and play the same sort of an economic shell and then not play Iro. Like, maybe you do, but maybe at that point, like, we're underselling what Akiko can do for you, which is see a lot of cards relatively quickly. Seems cool, seems fun. And I think these Shaper rigs are like it's rebellion without rehearsal. Imagine doing anything besides Shaper. Like, it's kind of unfortunate, as much as other things are doing relatively well. But some of these like things that are catching me by surprise is, look at this list, right? So Sokka has been grinding this like lat list and changing cards from meta to meta, doing like 2 nationals weekend after weekend. And if you look at this list too, show me the economy cards. Like, there's no econ in this deck. It is so minimal. And I know in the write-up, Sokka is talking about like, oh, you have to manage your economy. Because you don't have infinite econ. You can't just do whatever you want. You have to be a bit clear. You have to be a bit careful of the economy of Sokka's brain. Yeah, exactly. But like, that's the point. Is like, this deck has very little economy in it, and Sokka's clearly doing very, very quite well with it. It's a single Teleware contract, Trick Shot, Sure Gamble, Overclock, Diesel. DJ Fenris, mind you, does a lot of heavy lifting because you can play these events again. But if DJ Fenris doesn't come down, this deck has like a cap. And these breakers are really good at breaking stuff, like very cheaply and not spending a lot of money. Like Propeller's really good on economy. Revolver's really good on economy. Simulchip is really good with all of those. So like, you actually end up using less money breaking stuff, but it's wild. It is so fascinating to me that these like these decks look relatively different. But yeah, I don't know. I need to play this more to see how it works. I'm glad this did so well. Shout out to QEH and QTM for playing this list and keeping it for Nottingham. I think it's really cool. A lot of people are going to enjoy this. I'll see how much pressure it puts off, but I'm really excited for it. It's a good deck for a very, very good player. Sokka's thing, 100%. I think this thing can do some work as well. That snipe was wild. Sorry. For the lat list, you just have to run like exactly 4 times in a game, pull only agendas out of HQ, even with 11 cards in it. Oh, Eric, no, I probably went fine. I'm skipping out of work to play a round of League I'm in. I never knew I'll be skipping work to catch the grid as well. Yo, Brennan, welcome. Hopefully things are going okay. Sauce's game against Thunderbolt in the cut was a little sad, but that's his story to tell. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure that deck is like unganked and a lot of really rough stuff where you can just face check and kind of, you know, lose pretty bad, such as the idea of making your ice really, really, really rough. Shout out also, mind you, there's always, you can find a great article up on the Surveyor. So if we want to look at some stuff here, runner faction diversity half on Shaper, not too surprising, I don't think, at this point in time. Anarch is not particularly doing well. You can see at the win rate section. The top cut is almost the entirety of the top cut, which is HB versus Shaper matchups, and it's single elimination, which is pretty rough. I think Cable Carnage lost 1 game all event, which apparently is 1 game too many. I think Tuno, it only lost 1 game, which was in the Swiss as well. So like, trying to win a single elimination cut is really hard. I don't know how I feel about single elimination cut, but I think you have to underneath the time. If you look at some faction win rate numbers here, Anarch is just not doing it for sure. I don't know how many people are out there playing Hoshiko. Criminals just holding on. Wayland's not doing much, and 1 op made it into the top cut. Maybe it was 2. Yeah, I think it was 2 ops in the top cut. It was Cable, and I'm not sure who else was playing op. I'd have to check. No NBN in the top cut, I don't think. Yeah. And then Shaper's just doing really well. Specifically, Akiko 65% win rate is pretty wild. I do think another thing with this list is that people don't know how to play against it. Like, I do think some amount of games are going to be won because an hero comes out of nowhere and like puts on so much pressure that you're not prepared for, and then you're not icing up for. I think for a while going forward, people who are metacognizant will probably put some amount of ice on archives to make sure Akiko doesn't just get a free hero, because that's obviously a problem for you. So I do think win rates of runner decks and even corp decks in the modern meta, like the surprise factor of what you're playing, has a huge impact on that week. And then you'll see if the deck can keep up on the next week, and it probably loses some amount of points. But I'm not saying this deck isn't good. I do think that is worth keeping in mind. That is a really, really strong play to not play around. Do we know what kind of kick Cable Carnage brought? I don't think the list is posted. If I'm not mistaken, Cable's been playing mostly like Inversificator, some amount of Inversificator in kit, but he probably was on Lobby. I don't know. I'd have to check. Single lim is usually concession to time constraints for an event. Oh yeah, 100%. Double elimination cuts take a fair bit of time, and it was a top 8 cut, so like that adds an extra, you know, many hours. So it is what it is. Do you remember back in the day? My biggest question is how girls tackles RH. Oh, I honestly don't know. I think Coupulation has to do a fair bit of work there, but I'm not 100% sure. There's one RH in the top cut. I'm not sure if they played because of single elimination. Back in the day when we used to have like regionals that were a single day event, how did we do a top cut? Like, I don't have a good memory of this, but I feel like we used to do double elimination top cuts. But like, so for those who played back in like, say 2016, 2015, and I should just check because I think we have footage on this channel, but we used to do everything in a single day. If we had a store championship or a regional, they had top cuts and it was a single day event. Did it just go really long? You just did them? We played till midnight? Yeah. Terrence, how's it going? I think that was it. I think we just played super late, which like is not sustainable for a lot of people, let alone for a lot of venues. So I'm not saying people should do that, but I'm pretty sure we just did them, and it probably wasn't the best outcome, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Frank, I missed your saying hi. How's it going, by the way? I missed some chat. If anyone else is interested in Shaper decks, I did win this weekend's AMT with Spark Kit. Oh, cooler, eh? Well done. The Propeller Revolver package is pretty much the modern Cerberus package I expected to see when they were spoiled and has similarly low econ requirement to play. Yes, and they don't feel like they're being taxed out a lot. I think it's possible to tax a Propeller, and I think in the write-up on the Decklist of the Week, Sock is saying like, Propeller, we're playing 2 Propeller, we're playing no pressure spike, and so there are certain decks in the meta that can make that a problem for you, but they don't exist right now. Or like, Sokka wasn't expecting to see them at that event. And I do think still with Propeller, and like, mind you, 3 Simulchip, 3 Muse, like that's a ridiculous amount of recursion. Let alone also this version has DJ Fenris. Like, oh, it doesn't have Muse though, so okay. Oh wait, this is the lat list. I wanted to see the other one too. Yeah, 3 Muse, SMC, like, you know what I mean? Like the amount of recursion Shaper has access to is kind of goofy. That I feel like if they had Lady right now, it'd be totally cooked. I'd be interested to see if the sensible pivot to lat in the same ID seems similar, better, or even worse. In the same deck. Yeah, in the same deck. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I think Akiko definitely does something here. But I also feel like I want to be very clear. I think this is so sick and I'm happy about it. And then if I say anything like slightly negative about it, it seems like I'm poo-pooing and I'm not. I think if you change the ID, what's going to help you is people are not going to know your game plan. I think we're going to say the same thing a bit with Iswak. And I think this deck is on average, I'm not a big Iswak fan, but when people saw Iswak for the next couple of weeks, they knew what was coming. And so I think you're going to have some expectation of this coming, which is definitely going to help you, but I don't think all the games were won off of you. I think it's far from it. So it's hard to tell. For what it's worth too, like I think Akiko's also kind of cool into PD because getting pressure faster is kind of nice, but also lat doesn't fire consistently into PD. And a not inconsiderable part of the meta at Nottingham, if I'm not mistaken, was on PD. So if you're expecting a fair bit of PD, and like I think the top cut was like, how much PD was there? 18%. It was the most ID in the whole field of one ID, right? Like there's a reason to not exactly play lat all the time. So I don't know. I could see it be better. I could see it be worse. I do recall hearing of events running hella late back in the day. Yeah. Legendarily, we finished off the 401 regional at McDonald's next door. I did that too. I remember playing at a store championship where a top cut, we had to leave the store and then we had to go play at not a food court, but like a public area at the university next door. So what are you saying is network community is just getting old and cranky? Not exactly. Hey, Gyro. Nisueka Debtico. Nottingham, I can't. Sorry. Excuse me, not Yeti. Am I not doing it right? Howdy gamers, howdy Sunny D. PD without agendas can sometimes just have nothing to do, so locking R&D is pretty funny. Yeah, it's like, it's possible. I think PD can make it about the remote server. The fact that like these decks are also on 2x and 3x pinhole threading, I think is super sick because of that. Like you generally lose because of the upgrades. Like it's not the ice that you're losing to unless they can go incredibly fast. Just pivoting Asha Padma girls once people figure out Akiko. Yeah, maybe. Bonjour, mateys. Bonjour, Safabod. How's it going? It's Nottingham, not Nottingham? Oh, sorry. My bad. Hello. Hey, Phil. So, otherwise, let's just look at some quick results. Apologies if we talk too much. Again, mostly a podcast. We'll get some gameplay. I'm actually really excited to play this deck, but there's a lot of things that went on this weekend. Shout out again, we have a Montreal GNK in just, mind you, ABR is back up in just like 5 hours. I'll see you there. NANPC Montreal, get your tickets. We did a video about it. Please grab your tickets sooner than later. We want to know how many people are coming for many, many reasons, but let's look at some results. It's not Ingham. Nottingham. 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 No, you wrote the same word twice, though. I thought we were doing a cool joke. I don't know. Worcester. What else happened this weekend? A lot of this stuff actually won't be here because this only got fixed relatively recently. So there's going to be a bunch of results on other stuff. So let's look at some other results. Aesop Stables. So what else happened? Clock Tower Casual Startup GNK. Startup German Nationals. Russian National Champion. Cool. Standard AMT. 20 players, and then I think we have to go to tournaments on null signal. Nullsignal.com games. German Nationals was in double-sided Swiss. Again, not my favorite format. I think for organizers it can be a bit easier, but not my favorite format. You've heard me say that before. And the meta is exactly what you'd expect it to be, to the T. 14 players on PD, Ag Infusion and Ace Group following that up slightly behind that with Restoring Humanity. 4 outfits, a bit interesting, and then actually fewer Asmari than any other NBN, which is also a bit wild. On the runner side, lapping the top again. Yep. Hoshigo and 10, Sable and 9. That's a bit more Sable than I thought there'd be, but like Shaper's taking up more than half the field by a mile. German results should be on ABR as well, I hope. Okay, let me check actually really quickly. That might be more useful because it's easier to look at like the macro level. Oh, it is. Thank you. Really quickly before we go there, I think I did some salty like double elimination, or sorry, some salty Swiss stuff. So this was 10 rounds. In terms of the top cut, shout out to all the players who came out on the organizers. I think the numbers, like I always look at these double elimination. Let me try that again. I look at double-sided Swiss and I want to check out what is the number of, for players who made the top cut, how many games did they not play? And I think we've seen some pretty absurd numbers. German Nationals wasn't that bad comparatively. It's still not great if you ask me. But out of the top 8 players that made the top cut, on average, they played about 78% of their games. Not a great statistic still, but that's such as the problem with IDs and 2-for-1s. It is what it is. Again, there's reasons to do double-sided Swiss, mostly because it's easy to organize. Not my favorite thing. I think the worst case scenario is that there was at least one player who only played 60% of their games and made the top 8, which I don't like it. That's my DSS rant for today. Shout out to Augustus who did it, playing PD and Lat. I think he published his lists. It is a PD with 3 ADTs, 2 off-world offices, saying it's pretty great. Great to see Ryan Bantwins there too. Did a fantastic, I think second place finish, as if I'm not mistaken, at EMEA as well, playing this sort of combo op. And I think this will probably be like double deep dive, if not even triple deep dive Sable. Ryan's been playing the same list for about a year, which is good. There is one ID in Nottingham. Yeah, that makes sense. It's really hard to ID in single-sided Swiss. I'm a big fan of that. And then a bunch of other players here. Again, the top cut is not at all surprising. It's going to come down to what the lists turn out to be, but this looks pretty functional. Pretty functional. I don't know if we have a Kikai article about it, but I'll look into it in a bit. I'm still in awe of Sokka the Mad Lad going a full 9-0 record to Cascadia instead of IDing the last couple rounds. And rightfully so, right? Like, he could have ID'd, but you're Sokka, right? Like, I think if you see the matchup and you think I'm not horribly disfavored in the matchup, you should still play it. Because on average, like, what's the worst case that's going to happen to Sokka? If he gets swept, he's still in the cut. If he IDs, he's still in the cut. If he plays, he gets practice, and he's likely to win more than he's going to lose. And then he gets a top placement in Swiss, which is actually relatively important going into the cut itself. There's a lot of players that go to the Nationals just to make the top cut, like, unfortunately, myself at Toronto. But then there's a lot of players who are there to win. And if you're there to win, you should play as many games as it makes sense, to some extent, depending on the field and what you're playing and how you feel in that day. So yeah, I get it. I totally get it. He was there to win. The main reason for us was that we are a relatively new team when it comes to organizing, and there was simply more reasons to run well DSS and SSS. Oh, 100% Gyro. Like, as a tournament organizer, immense amount of sympathy there. Like, I get it, especially for people who are organizing for the first time. I've heard great stuff. I think the event went well. Congratulations to all y'all. But yeah, I've ended my rant, so we're totally fine. It's a little easier to ID in SSS when you play too many rounds. Yes, but the fact that they're worth like what is it? Is it 1 point versus 3? It really does suck. Like IDing twice is relatively bad. If the cut hadn't been the next day, he would have been IDing. If the cut hadn't been the next day. Oh yeah, if he had to do it all in one day, that makes sense. Yeah. Inventing triple-sided Swiss. We want to get 3 for 1s in there. That's for sure. What else happened? I think we had AMT results. So Russian national champions. Shout out to, I don't know all these players. I know Zhao, I know Zhat coming in second there. Top 4 final standings here. We want to look here. Arasana and PD. Mind you, Zhat coming in first, and Swiss is great. Zhao on PE. And Essa, a fair bit of Essa, some Zaya here. A fair bit of op as well. Neat, a lot of op. Wow, a lot of op. You get that that Slavic, Northern Slavic spice in there, I suppose. We had a team tournament in Germany. It was the ID swap one, right? I'm pushing for N-sided Swiss where N is the round number. Exponential Swiss. Sokka being as consistent as is almost reassuring. It's really good. And I'm actually glad, like very, very glad that there's players like that. Like back in the day too, we used to have, mind you, Dan Dorgenio, who won twice in a row. And then there's people like Jeremy's were in, who wins like every single FFG card game for the first couple of years when they did World Championships. It's like, there is a fair bit of variance and a fair bit of luck in a tournament, but even when it comes to bigger tournaments, like generally the variance and the luck gets more ironed out, right? Like we talking about events that have single elimination, drop one game, you're out. Like that's rough, but you know, when you have to play so many rounds and then a top cut and then all that sort of stuff, right? On average, the better players will do well. Entrance bid on the value of N, the bidding metagame overtakes actual Netrunner. Standard AMT, Balacho on Akiko and Sports Medal, the top 4 cut. Not sure if it looks like it was single elimination as well, which for AMT is, I'm sick with that. Coming down between MGK, Toronto player, and against Larea, taking it on Kit. Very cool stuff. Akiko coming there at the top as well. A lot of HB there. Let's go. For a newbie, why do people not play all of their games? Jacob, thank you for baiting me into another DSS rant. How's it going? So I'll keep this short because I'm a broken record. In single-sided Swiss, you basically play all your games. In double-sided Swiss, when you sit down against an opponent, you have 65 minutes to play 2 games, right? A corp game and a runner game. So you play one game, then you swap and you play the other game. So your results to report to the tournament organizer after a single round, there's generally like 3 results. Either you won both of your games, in which you get 6 points. You both won 1 game, so you get 3-3. Or you won 0 games, in which you get 0, your opponent gets 6. The tournament structure supports things called intentional drawing and 2-for-1ing. 2-for-1ing makes the most sense, where like at some point people realize if they want to make the top cut, going 3-3 doesn't help either of them. So it's in their best interest that one player at least wins both games. So the organizer comes over from the tournament and sanctions this, and they flip a coin, they figure out what side they're playing, and whoever wins that one game wins both technical games. So they don't actually play 2 games, they play 1. So you just play your runner game against the corp randomly decided, and then you get 6 points instead, which means that actively you're playing fewer games. What's more egregious in terms of amount of games played, but maybe not more egregious to standings overall, is intentional draws, in which both players, say the first place player and the second place player, realize, oh, as long as we split, we go 3-3, we'll stay on top, because if one of us knocks the other one down, we have no interest in doing that. So they call a judge over, they just shake hands, and then they just don't play the game, but they report that they each won 1 game. So in a round of 10 rounds, if you don't play 1 round and you ID, you're playing 2 games fewer than everyone else. So that's a fair bit. If it's 4-round tournament and you know, ID last round, everyone's playing 8 games, you're playing 6. You're playing 75% less games than everyone else. It's weird. How's the DSS copy pasta? That's it. I think I'm getting better at doing it faster. Sorry that it goes on. Z-Bag Suburban Wasteland is this weekend. I'm not gonna be able to make it. Unfortunately, I had to cancel at the last minute, but if you're in Mississauga, you're in Toronto, you're in Canada, you're in Hamilton, even if you're in America, make it up. Z's a great host. When the DSS rant supercut compiler thinks they're finished, another one turns up. It's a process. We need an exclamation mark DSS. I know, it's fine. But I actually really like when people ask questions. Just make a video so that you don't have to open each stream with this. You know how memey my video will be, though? I'm not sure the DSS rant would be legible on a shirt. It definitely wouldn't be. Just tuning in. What's the title, girls? And Durham, how's it going? This is this really cool deck list that QEH and QETM was playing in, I don't know how to say the place anymore, so I'm just going to call it the Midlands, that plays these girls connections. So like Iru, Akiko, not a connection. Actually, and Pretty, there's not as many connections that I've seen in other versions of it. And it's just been called the girls archetype for a while now. It's cool. All is right in the world. All is right. Okay, let's get into this. So I'm gonna start playing with the bigger version, the 47 card version. I think. Seems cool. Again, trick shot's good, lily pad's good. I think people are going to see this coming. It's going to be really flavor of the week on JNet, so people should have your number. The cool thing is that there's 2 versions of it, but it's very easy to see how many cards are in your deck, whether it's 47 or 45, and see how that goes. The Midlands, I can't. Oh, to pronounce. You know how there's like parts of, you know, technology that just don't work, right? Like printers don't often consistently work, if you ask me, or like trying to get a word pronunciation guide on YouTube is like, it doesn't work. You just can't do it. Netungam. Ah, nah, Tungam. Good old Netungam. City in England. Nottingham. Netungam. I can't hear it, mind you. The audio's routed. I don't think you can hear it either. No, Netungam. Good stuff. Wolf 2 shirt when? That'd be really cool. We should have t-shirts with the DSS rant, the 3-point agenda math rant. I get one, I'm scared of death. Are you going to UK Nationals? I am definitely not going to UK Nationals. I don't know where it is. I'm going to be at Worlds, which is really exciting. But this year, the travel has to be a bit more restricted, unfortunately. But in the near future, maybe. But no, not this year, unfortunately. I hope everyone has a great time. Oh, I want to do this version. The Tungam version. It's in the UK. Actually, when are you doing your show matches against Spa? What am I trying to do? I can't forget. It's in the UK. I saw this list on NRDB. Didn't know there was an archetype. It was called Girls Sick. Yeah, it's great. It's in Brisbane. I'm saying them all right on purpose. Don't worry. Corp. Hey, has anybody watched Taskmaster? Has anyone watched Taskmaster New Zealand season 3? What do you want? What do you think about Taskmaster New Zealand season 3? We're almost done it, Maddie and I. Taskmaster rules. It's really good. Taskmaster is really good. The last season was okay. I'm sleeping. Him insta, don't you? Actually, I don't know what that means. Brisbane. I've been behind on Taskmaster. So they're uploading everything to the YouTube channel. And so now they're doing like New Zealand. This last season in New Zealand, there's like maybe 1.5 contestants I like. I don't think the New Zealand Taskmaster is particularly anything. In fact, I don't think he's good. I know people thought Taskmaster New Zealand season 2 is like one of the best ones. And I remember it being good. Is season 3 the one with Jenny? Jenny. Maybe? Season 3 is Chris, Josh, Justine, Kura, and Paul Ego. So no, I don't think there's Jenny there. Tasks lack mastery. Taskmaster without Greg and little Alex feels weak. There's some good ones though at center. Like I obviously the 2 of them are phenomenal. But like there are other seasons of Taskmasters in different languages or different locales that are reasonable. We have 2 pretty in the deck. I didn't know that. I don't like this hand. There was a Taskmaster with Netrunner. Who is the Taskmaster? Who's the Alex Horn? And who are the contestants? It's a hard game to try and structure. That's for sure. I don't honestly know. I don't think I'm mean enough to be a Taskmaster or like authoritative enough. New Zealand season 2 is so good. That's what I've been told and I remember. Feels like not a great hand. No, it doesn't feel like a good hand. Jenny's from Taskmaster Australia. I don't think I've seen, maybe I've seen one season of Taskmaster Australia. Betting no doof as usual. Yeah, 12 influence. Yeah, 12. I don't think 12 influence. Yeah, I think that might be tricky. But I got, no, I'm kidding. Your task is to explain DSS. So here, what we think is in the remote server, Rashida, could be a Tranquility home grid. Let's talk about it. Like we could just burner here. If there's a spin doctor, I don't really love burner that much. Like getting 2 cards out of the hand slows the game down, but I want to keep burner for turns in which like a seamless launch actually matters as much as it could be this turn. So I'm not 100% sure what to do with this hand because I can't afford to put the lily pad down until we get our money up. So I think I'm just going to first click face check server 1. They're only on 5 credits, so it's not like we're going to get lost to MIC. And like, I don't care about drafter here, I don't think. The problems of it is the actual Tranquility, whatever. Now this will fire. That's fine that we get a Gatekeeper down early. Hey Dowgen, you coming out tonight? Girls deck is great. It's my first time playing with it. Gate though, Gate is like, this is actually kind of annoying. I don't know what to think about Gatekeeper. Right? Like I want to get the Gatekeeper rezzed early, but this is fine. This is disastrous if they're on your digital life. Like if this is a Rashida and they're on YDL, I feel like if they're on like a shoot the moon type deck with YDL, I never want to face check. And it's not just Gatekeeper, it's Drafter. Like I'm the sort of player who teaches new players to face check into stuff, but like Gatekeeper when 3 cards is 3 credits, even when Drafter is like extra cards in hand, like I never want to face check it. So we could burner here, whatever. I think you want to burner first to curate the hand, then face check the Gatekeeper. I don't know. I think them down to 2 credits, this needs to be Rashida. So like we're trying to draw into a pinhole. But if it's a YDL deck, we're kind of cooked. Like that's true. Oh, we're going to discard some cards here? I guess so. Yeah, I think we have to. Like your guys playing the game? I really want to see how the deck does. Yeah, we're going to do it. Gatekeeper, Rashida, YDL. Yeah, that's a GG's. I agree. I think face checking into some of the ice is maybe not worth it, but we'll find out together. I think we only have 1 SMC in the deck. Simulchip is pretty flexible in the deck. Ika does not break Drafter particularly well, which is the only sentry we have to break. I don't know. Shit. Ika being our only breaker is kind of going to be hard against PD, I imagine. Lily pads, we're on 2 or 3. We're on 3. I don't need the lily pad here. If we do lily pad, install Ika, draw a card, maybe that's fine. I just feel like it's the worst card in our hand. I might regret that. Toss Ika for sure. It's Rashida, that's really bad. Yeah, maybe we should toss the Ika because we can simul-chip it back when we need it, and that's probably worth a bit more. But ideally, you're installing your Ika with Muse, so yeah, you probably should toss it. I can see getting rid of the lily pad. I don't know how close tight the MU is going to be, but like we already have Nuka on the table. We already have a 5-card hand. Yeah. Fuck. Maybe we should have first like gone for the burner, but we don't know what sort of HB it is. Like the Gatekeeper face check is a disaster. At least it's derezzed. Could you consider burning your opening econ to punish the Gatekeeper with Vizarum? I guess so. I tried a full deck with Ari, Ira, Beatrice, Julie, Artist, thematic, but your current deck is probably more balanced. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of too many of them. Like I think I've seen earlier versions that have too many of them, and it's not as great as playing fewer of them. It's the Rashida though? No, it could have been a Tranquility. I think it's more likely Rashida, but we're looking here for like we just wanted the pinhole. Tuno's version's on 3 pinhole. This one's on 2. I wonder if we're meant to just put the SMC down to Vizarum the Gatekeeper. It's relatively expensive. It's 4. But even if we do that, like, and it's a Rashida, we have no money. If we install the SMC, it's like really bad into Hagen. This list of it is not changed. It's only on 1 Hagen, on 2 Ablative. So it's hard. I don't expect it to be a drafter, but like the game is kind of cooked. Like things are really bad really quickly. So from this Nuka, if we get a burner, we can bottom 2 cards. It's not amazing, but we're worried here that this is going to be seamless launch into an agenda. Worst case would be actually the Luminal, I think. But we just had to keep going forward here. Okay. So at least we have an environmental, so we can just do nothing and pretend that setting up is enough. So we can do environmental testing, install SMC creative. We don't really have a huge reason to face check here. The primer video for NANPC was class. Yo, Alex, by the way, are you going? Are you coming in again? Thank you, by the way. I'm just going to set up. Is SG and DL thematic to the decks considering the art on those cards? I don't know what those acronyms mean. I am considering it. Oh, very cool. Oh, it'll be fun. All right, so there was a seamless in hand. We could have potentially gone for the burner there. It's a midnight, so the YDL is going to come back, and not sure how I'm meant to interact with this besides put enough pressure on R&D that slows them down, but they can win in 2-3 turns. A sure gamble, dirty lining to the deck considering... I'm still not sure, Diogen. Is sure gamble and dirty laundry thematic to the deck? I don't know what you mean. Oh, like seeing the future? I don't think dirty laundry is. Dirty laundry is more of a... They added seamless back, so they have a YDL in hand, so they have infinite money. Double burn and bottom all the YDLs. I know, but like it's 10 cards in HQ. Like what are you meant to do about 10 cards in HQ on turn 3? I'm not sure if the gender on dirty laundry on the person is like a known quantity. I think it's just the person at a cafe. I don't know. But I think it's somebody who's being, what's it called? Blackmailed. Sure gamble? The sure gamble person. That's the quantum manipulation ring. Isn't it smoke? I don't think it's smoke. Just use OG laundry art. The OG laundry art, I don't think is a character we know. Thinking. So this is bad. This is really, really bad. We can always like trick shot, but I think we want to just start with the Nuka to see what we can draw into. What are we looking for here? Pinhole's good, I guess. If we trick shot, they might not res. That's a bad thing. Smoke is on cast. Oh, Smoke is on the old cast. Smoke is also arguably on the new casts. Yeah, I think Smoke is on both casts. So if we trick shot here, what are we doing? If they don't res, we have to pop our SMC. We'll just go get a Unity, I think. Sheer Gamble always thought it was Smoke? I don't think it is. I feel like I'm just doing this for the sake of doing something. This puts us closer to environmental testing, but like we're struggling to see if 3-card pressure. It's a Tattoo Bola. Huh. All right. More money for them, I guess. So we probably want to go get our breaker. It's either Propeller or Pressure Spike. Now, Pressure Spike, there's one Brawn on the list. Otherwise, everything we're breaking is a Blade of Barriers. If we use the Pressure Spike here, it comes in for 2 credits. We probably just want to go for the Propeller because so we have Simulchip, but actually getting the Pressure Spike down and saying that I think we're going to have to break a Brawn, this is actually a really cool choice. Because with the Propeller, we're going to waste... I think we do take the Pressure Spike because there's a lot of smaller barriers. While you have the credits, I don't actually think we have the credits though. Like we're going to waste some of these credits. And maybe it's fine. It's Ms. Gamble, first name Sue with a silent R. That's a Sue Gamble. Pressure Bike is much better for tattoos. Yeah, 100%. It's good for ablatives as well. This eventually will be good for Brawn. So now like trick shot. Okay, so what's the attacks on Akiko? Reveal spent credits. If you and the corpse spent the same number of credits, it acts as 1 additional. So we want to spend the same. So if they spend 0, they're probably going to spend 1. What happened? They paid 1. Cool. So we can trash a Managarm Skunkworks here. It'll cost us 2 credits. Incredible. I don't think we trash this with the Pinhole in hand. I think we want them to be comfortable with that idea, let alone we can't really afford to. Greasing, Drafter. That is a bad series of accesses. And we don't even get the second round on it, but we should have known that. I think we just installed the Simulchip. We can always flicker at some point once we have a program in the heap, which we do, to go get 9 credits, which is pretty good. But now we know the next 3 cards, so whatever's in HQ is probably cracked. So is Tattoo Bola, Managarm followed by Greasing followed by Drafter? We're going to have a hard time breaking Drafter. I think there's no way around that. I think if you're expecting PD to be a consistent part of the meta, I feel like, I don't know, my guess is like using Ika and using Fazarum is not that easy to deal with Drafters. And a lot of these decks are on no other sentry besides Drafter. I just don't know how to deal with the Drafter elegantly. It's like a lot. Ika's the only killer who feels terrible. It's probably better to... yeah, me neither. Hey, that's 2 of us. So we'll see if they push in the remote server again. We have Simulchip. Our Burst Economy is environmental testing. There's the YDL, which we know is in hand. So we know there's a Seamless. We know there's a Managarm. You do have a Fazarum as well. I know, but like spending so much resources just to bypass 1 Drafter doesn't seem great, right? Like it's a lot of money. So that's a non-agenda card. In theory, depends what they want to do with this click here. Because we know that's probably the Managarm. So if we want to pinhole the remote server, we know what's that. Yeah. So oftentimes it depends what you're doing. If you want to gain the click, you can use that click to install a card and not tell that it's a non-agenda. So if they don't gain the click here, which they probably will with this many cards in hand, that just like betrays information for no reason. Play lad and play gun? No, honestly, gun's not bad. 2 credits is fine. They gain a click, okay, so that's fine. But they're going to be on game point on turn 3, turn 4. Like, we cannot contest this. I don't think. Because we need our Unity for sure. We need a pinhole for sure. This deck is on Managarm Tranquility. It could be an Anoetic. Or sorry, not Anoetic. I don't think this deck is on Anoetic. Mind you, I think I have seen some people play versions of the YDL deck that are on Anoetic. Is Kung Fu better than Border Control for PD? Well, you want to do all of them, right? Like Border Control is really good into things like Light the Fire and to run events in general, gives you flexibility. So I don't think one's better than the other. All right, ideally we top deck a Coalescence to get into the economic game really, really quickly. Yeah, we are probably going to burn our HQ to get the Seamlesses out. That's our best play. This is what I like. Man, R&D pressure. We technically have some. Just too fast for any of those things to matter? No, it feels too fast for this to matter. The rigging up drawn with nothing alongside, it's also like incredibly cursed. So what do we do here? Like, we're okay going to low credits because we can always crack back with simulchip environmental testing, but we wanted to draw into a Coalescence for sure, especially with rigging up. Even like we would install our console for one. So to figure out, you can use Unamused? Yeah, we can, but like, do we? I don't think we do. I think we start with a burner here and see what happens. Like maybe there's agendas in HQ. I'm not sure. Yeah, we had it since turn 1. Ikua, Tatupola, Gatekeeper. That's actually kind of bad. Now, them top decking Tatubola, them top decking Gatekeeper. I see a lot of players put cards on the bottom of the deck, and I think often enough it's relatively wrong. I've seen a lot of games where people be like, I'm putting this on the bottom of the deck, but them top decking a Tatubola next turn as opposed to like something that wins the game is so much better for us. So I think we put Tattoo on the top of the deck, and I think we put Gatekeeper on maybe that on the bottom. The problem is like their hand is Seamless Launch. We know the top of the deck currently is Drafter. Can we contest Aqua on top? I don't think we can, because if this costs any amount of credits, we can't do it. Well, we could with Simulchip, but I think it's actually better to run HQ on 1 and 3. I almost always bottom good cards and leave the agenda. I think you should top cards a lot more, especially Ice. Like them drawing Ice is fine. I don't think we win if they don't have Ice here. But we're in a bad spot. Is there enough points for the Corp to win right now outside of R&D? If not, from HQ just floating agenda. If not, R&D pressure surely is enough. So there's an agenda in this remote server, and then there's an Ikua in hand. So we need to steal this Ikua, or we can bottom the Ikua. I think bottoming the Ikua makes sense. Can power up Anoetic? I don't think this deck is on Anoetic. But if it is, like, we have Pinhole. So Gatekeeper bottom is fine. Tatubola top is fine, and we can go back for a 1 and 3. Not great odds. If we put on R&D though, like we'd have to simulchip. Actually, maybe we do put on top of R&D. Yeah, bottoming Ikua is a consideration because if it's out of the game, they have more work to do. But if they score, it'll still be in hand next turn. So maybe we bottom Gatekeeper, put Ikua on top, run R&D. We can do simulchip into SMC, gain 9. Yeah, let's do that. This, if it's a spin duct in the remote server, we get played, but I don't think they would. Use Iru? Oh, we can't. We're hoping for a Tattoo Bola. If it's anything else, we'll have to struggle a bit. But like we have a 9 credit install SMC play. Oh, that's fantastic. We still have to do it though, because we don't have enough money. Oh wait, we have to trash our pressure spike? Hold on. Oh my god. I'm not very smart. We can't just use simulchip. Flicker the pressure spike? I guess we have to, right? Yeah, we can't just pull the SMC. I don't like it. We're gonna do it. Oh, wow, we can see the card after. I'll pay 0. If they pay anything more than 0, it's probably incorrect. Okay. And then we know there's a greasing coming up. Okay. So their hand is Seamless Greasing and Ablative. Discard cards. I kind of want the rigging up. Pretty Mary Iru is how we probably win the game. Pinhole seems important. Every card seems good. I think rigging up's the worst card. Yep. Midnight 3 is worse for us. They break lock, but now there's only one more 5/3 in the deck. Notably too, this is like a big deal deck, so they can just win. Offer Loftus, that's fine. You can have more money. Where this is probably a Tattoo Bola. Discard Ika. It might be right with the Muse actually. Yeah, there's a chance that that's correct, Vishal, is to discard the Ika because we have Muse, and with Muse we install it from the bin. I actually do like that play a fair bit because we can rigging up the Muse. We don't have a lot of money. That's probably right. What is Flicker? Flicker is a term I think that comes from Magic the Gathering, which means to like very quickly basically uninstall a card and reinstall it. So simulchip flickers, rejig flickers. It comes from Magic. I'm not sure if Flicker shows up on cards or that's just a term. With Era, I hope Valentina's there. Good thematic. Is it? No, we don't have Valentina for sure. Do we want Ika on board for a drafter res? Sort of. We know where one drafter is. I don't think it's a drafter. I think we know what this is. So we know there's a drafter on top of R&D. Okay, Fermenter's pretty good. So I think here we just install cards. We like another environmental testing. So we know their hand is, what did they add back? Red level clearance, that's very interesting. So we know their hand is greasing, red level. Flicker was the name of the card that had that effect. Oh, very cool. So Fermenter's going to be kind of important. We can do Pretty Merry. They need ice R&D. They're going to have a drafter. They're going to put the drafter on R&D. So we probably can do Pretty Merry Ika. Sorry, Fermenter Ika creative. RLC is too big for BD to try and win next turn. They could win next turn. It's unlikely though. Because we know 3 of their cards in hand. We know they have drafter, greasing, red level clearance. So they have to have exactly the last Ikoa and a big deal to win. It's unlikely. But we could lose here, yeah. They'll probably use this to draw. Yeah. Then they should install Jiggy and Click. An MTG comes from a card whose name is the effect like Flicker Wisp. Oh, cool. Was it a good card? Or like enough that it generated its own language? Gain and Click, cool. All right, so we can win by doing Eero, Pretty, Run R&D. Steal 4 points. So bad girls. It was so awesome to see a deck for my local players do so well at the regionals. Yeah, it's a cool deck too. All right, so we don't know what that is. Can we afford to just earlock R&D for a few turns? Not anymore, because there's an advancement on that card. So this advancement we have to hope is not the last Ikoa. If it is the last Ikoa, we lose. Thinking. So the question is, how can we possibly contest this? We have 2 of our breakers. So if we install the Muse, we can go get our Unity. We'll have an MU problem. So we could do Fermenter, Muse, Run. This wasn't res, so there's a chance that this is double Mana Garm, which is not actually functional. If it was a Tranquility, there's a chance Edward doesn't need to res it, but I think Edward needed some card draw, maybe. Can Pinhole a check? I think we can, but like, does it really change how we play our final turn? Like, say that it is a 5-3, can we contest it? No. Muse for Zarian for the Gatekeeper? Yeah, if it's a virus, it's a problem. Yeah, how's it going? Okay, so like say that we Fermenter. We're up on 14. We install Muse. We have to host the thing immediately, which is a problem unless we get Unity. If we get Unity, we have all our breakers. We're going to be up. What's Unity cost install? 3? Unity cost 3, right? Yeah, so we're up to 9 credits. Then we have to run the remote server. We don't have any trick shots or anything. So this is 8-7. We could only break once every 8. And then whatever this is, we don't know. It's probably a drafter, which costs us 5. That puts us down to 3 credits, which is not enough for Mana Garm. So I don't honestly think that we can do with this. I think we're too slow. So like, this is where like you do Eero, Pretty, Run R&D, and hope. The chance of us stealing 4 points seems unlikely. But if this is the last Echo, we're cooked regardless. Oh, you think it might be a Charlotte? I think we've seen that before, but I'd be surprised if this is the Charlotte version. I don't think we run server 1. Now, if we pinhole, we know this one's a Mana Garm, so it's what this one. So if we do pinhole the Mana Garm, clack the Fermenter, then we have to install the Muse. Like, we're just too slow unless we're hoping that this is not a code gate. And actually, well, no, because we can't actually break the Gatekeeper. We know we're 2 of them. Yeah, I'm going to send it, I think. I hate this. Pretty Eero goes disrespect to support it. We don't clear the tag either, which is good fun, but like we probably lose to this. So we'll do Eero first. Then we'll do Pretty. Imagine doing the other order and having to win the side game. So any amount of money they can spend here. They paid 0. Magnet. Luminal, good start. Fuck. Should have paid 2. Did we not see enough games? The cards? Wait, how many cards were we meant to see? We were meant to see was it the Akiko in there? Okay, wait. I think we were meant to see another card there. It was meant to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Why didn't we see 4? Oh, because we have to spend the same? Oh, we have to spend the same. Oh, okay. Super cool. So it was not the thing that we're playing around, which is fantastic. We would have locked 3. Yeah, okay. So we could have seen 4 if we paid the same. I paid 2 because I didn't care. I was trying to pay different, but we were meant to pay the same. I thought if I draw through my deck and create pressure faster, you can create lock. I think you can. I think so. But it's hard to lock Iro if you don't see her coming. They went through 24 cards. Seeing 5 agendas and 25 cards. This was 6 agendas. It's a bit higher than you'd think. Yeah, you need a match. I missed that. Common Girls W. Yeah, I know. And like, this will happen. Like, people are not respecting this. Run R&D, C3 cards, C4 cards is good. Respect the corporate recognizing that R&D lock was a major threat. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think Edward realized here. Oh, I struggle with Drafter. Yeah, Drafter's actually really hard for us. We definitely didn't play this perfectly, so like, I don't know. If you see this and think like, oh, we need to play this more. I don't think we're playing this perfectly, but yeah, put down here, run our archive seems good. I don't think we clear the tags there. Obviously, if we lose, we lose. Maybe we should clear the tag, actually. Yeah, we probably do clear the tag. This is enough of our pressure. We have a fermenter. We have more money than what it looks like. You ready to jump to the next one? Are you playing RH? Yeah, we can do it. I think it's going to be hard. Yeah. If we clear the tag, the ice archives with Drafter, yeah, that's fine. Like, we'll run it once in a couple turns. Like, that's the beauty with Iro Pretty, is that we have to run R&D like once every other couple turns. And admittedly, if they score Midnight 3, they draw 4 cards with mandatory, and then we can run archives. Run archives and see 4 new cards potentially. So you're right, they ice it up, but they probably actually have to double ice it. So they have to like seamless this 4-2, advance, and then install, which they can probably do. We know they have a Tattoo Bull in a hand, which that's not great. Yeah. It's good into big centuries. This is not my list. But the deck has some good support for it with Muse. Yeah, I do think Drafter's gonna be a bit hard. We'll see how it goes. If we don't, then they knock out Iro. They definitely do knock out Iro. If this is our win condition. Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't scratch myself. Oh, that's not good. All right, we'll do another one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for what it's worth, Ika saw some amount in play before Arisan existed. Arisan is a relatively new convenience. This existed since Reign of Reverie, which is like 2018, I want to say. Did you watch the German Nat stream, Turdock? I watched a bit of it. I think I watched 1 round live, which was like, I think Jai and Wiki was doing casting. I didn't see the finals though. Hey, thanks for the game. Ika was endurance backup. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I did see play as endurance backup as a cheap like panic breaker. Because like also Ika was relatively one of the better options to break Anansi. And endurance did not like Anansi. Jaro, do you want to host? You have to have breakers to threaten, but it appears you rarely use the printed abilities. Wait, on Ika, David? Because it breaks Anansi for like what, 5? That's not bad. Mind you, this is before Turbine. How's everyone doing, by the way? Have we done like a mid stream one of these in a while? Oh, there's the branding. It's been there the whole time. There's been a button for that. Hopefully you're doing well. Live Metropole Grid. Oh, thank you, Gyro. Okay, so this is Punitive RH. So the idea of this deck is that it wants to score out with Regenesis and get on 2 agenda scores to 7 points. Oh, this hand looks a fair bit better. I forgot we're on an Aesop's economy. We didn't see any of our economy, really. My ear keeps perking up. Yeah, sorry, Gyro. I think I've mixed up the 2 handles before. Good luck, have fun. Thanks, you too. So we need to get our money up. We do have a bit of not dying tech. So if we have on the table a Simulchip or an SMC, we have the ability, if we have a lily pad down, to like burst up an economy. So we actually can get a fair few credits. Red ID that wants to square down 2 agendas, you've heard it. So we want to make sure we don't get punitived. The deck is probably on triple Anoetic, I think, at this point in time. I haven't totally followed the modern RH lists. Also, some of the RH lists are on like really gross Hollowman Protect Archives stuff, which I'm not a big fan of. I think it's good. I just mean like it looks ugly to play against. All right, Hansei to start. So run archives, die on turn 1 is totally an option, and we always want to make sure we have our options. Some of the lists are also on snares. I think that's slowed down a fair bit. I've been here the whole time. Now I want to see Andre hosting a Netrunner themed Game Changer. Wait, is Game Changer like a... Oh, there's some respect. Is that a... How's it going, Trades? Is that a game show? All right. Envy Cole. Eat Cole. Specwork Cole. Pawnshop our environmental testing. I'm kidding. I think here we'll actually... So we can click for draw. If we diesel, we discard, which is not very good. I don't want to show the cupulation because cupulation run HQs are relatively okay play. Have you not seen Game Changers? I don't think so. It's goated. What is it? Like, I'm just doing this to work on the EV testing, which is maybe not necessary. Chip for some money. Yeah, it like gets us slightly closer. It's not the most important. It honestly might be better to just click to draw. I know we have a diesel in the hand, but we'll diesel at the beginning of the next turn. But like we lose the game by not having the right cards. And so I think drawing is probably a bit more important. Game Changer. Oh, wait, is Game Changer the like the old dropout stuff, the College Humor? I have seen it, yeah. Welcome to Game Changer, the only game show where the game changes every show. I think that's it, right? Yeah, it's the dropout, folks. I haven't subscribed to them yet, but I've been watching a bunch of their clips from, what is the show in which the host interviews like these improv characters? Because I find that endlessly funny. I like Make Some Noise a bit better than Game Changer. I saw like 1 or 2 episodes of Game Changer and it didn't grab me. All right, if we do lily pad, we can do lily pad coalescence. We only have 2 clicks though. This will go down to 6. This will go down to 5 up to 6. I think we just want to get our money up. So we'll just, man, maybe we should, and we can throw out a pretty. This gets us so much money. Is lily pad optional? Draw 1 card. Yeah. Okay. Not an easy choice. I wanted to draw a second pretty there. But Aesops is important. We don't have to take the coalescence money. Simulchip is really important. Trick shot's important. Pretty's important. Parisha's the least important. At a minimum, Parisha is a pawn shop, so it's a click for 3 credits. I think it's the worst card in our hand. We don't need Parisha, no, but it's like economy actually really matters in this matchup. And so having a card that next turn we install, get a card drawn, gain 3 credits, like off pawn shop is fine. It's better than it looks. Thosanders has been such fun to watch. Wait, sorry, what is that, droids? We are drawing this turn with it. Yeah. Very important people. Oh, very important people is so funny. What is the name of the host on Very Important People? I think they are so funny. They're very, very good. Andre says on your turn, what about if there's traces? I'm not worried about it. I want to actually keep this here as much as I can, so Gyro maybe missteps and thinks we have less credits than we do. Yeah, maybe we should have kept it. Vic, yeah, Vic is so good. And also Make Some Noise. I think Vic is very, very, very good at improv. All right, we need to just be working through our deck a bit, I guess. This is where install Prisha is actually pretty good. It might have been better than the Pretty. At some point, they need to ice up archives. We have a lily pad now with a Simulchip on the table. We can not die to punitive 6, but this is going to be a sleepy turn, my friends. A sleepy turn. Nuka, pawn shop. Okay, so now we have to take these. Install cup to draw. I think we are going to do now. Yeah, actually, we scuffed the ordering. I forgot that we had that ability. We should have done that sooner than later. I don't want to show our opponent that we're on cup, but they know we're on cup. Time to run archives. A compilation on archives doesn't work on agendas, so it doesn't actually do that much. We can compilation to subliminal, but like we run archives, we just die anyways. Because you can survive 6, yeah, but we have to watch out for double, and we have to watch out for Like double punitive 6 is a problem, let alone punitive 6 that at some part of it involves a Fuji. Kill the Emperor is the real RH tech. It's not even that good, right? Like Solomir, say you run archives and you find an agenda and you find him a virus. Like, what do? You grab the agenda and then get purged and then lose the agenda. You don't die. But like if there's a virus, there's no winning order. What if we ran turn 1 and just says you don't have it? I don't think it's worth it. I think our late game is better than having the you don't have it turn 1. Because there's a chance that he doesn't have it, but it's like, does bacterial programming draw into it? And I'm aware that's calculated that you don't have it, but 1000daires, like millionaires, in which each player has $1,000 to do basically whatever they want. They've done a bunch of silly things. Oh, it's another one of their games? The Emperor works on agendas. Identity Crisis to Alice cooked me on that in German Nats team tournament. It's like almost cool. At least if they purge Emperor, they rip cards from hand. Yeah, sure, but like if you lose the game, admittedly, Heliamphora is random, right? I think it's random damage. Have more credits with the game. Click for credits each turn, and you can't more than 4 credits doing other things. We'll always be doing things better than 4 credits. Money matters, but if they realize we're clicking for credits, Gyro will just put 2 ice and a Wedic and then score Regenesis and we lose. So it's not bulletproof. Like here, we have to consider running archives. Because what this looks like is a Regenesis agenda. So I am not clever enough to know whether this wins or not. Because on 20 credits like YDL, I think we just run archives. The other option is just to let the first agenda go through. You're worried about virus, install a second Heliamphora. Honestly, yeah. Technically more Heliamphora works. You have Nuka. I'm aware we have Nuka. But like we died a double punitive. Only 4 cards in hand here. You know what? I'm in. This could be the worst run of our life, but we also have Creative Commission. We can install a Simulchip. You don't die. There's a non-zero chance we die. Because they can feed us another 3-pointer here. They can draw another Bacterial. And then we have to survive double punitive 6. It's very likely we die. I'm not sure if this is the right line. You have Lily Chip easy? Yeah, but they could have double punitive. So I think here we install a Propeller, play creative. We can Simulchip the Copulation, actually. It's fine. But you'll be on 6? Yeah, but double punitive. Like YDL punitive. Yo, Russell, can you chip a program to draw to 6? 100% we can, but if they have double punitive and YDL, we lose. They need to feed us another agenda, though, so it's asking for a fair bit to line up, but it's not... Trash 1 card, add 4 to HQ, so it looks like they have what they need. So now we have to continue accessing cards. Fuji, okay. All right, so we're on 5 cards in hand. That solves that. We kept our creative, which is relatively good. Oh, we can steal something? It's coming. Install second chip. I think that is max creds. Installing second chip. I don't know if it does anything. I'm going to keep the subliminal thinking. I think in theory we shouldn't take anything here. Like, we could take the subliminal, but, like, I don't know if we want to. Yeah, don't spend money. I forgot it costs you credit. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to have enough cards in hand. I think the best thing we do here is just credit creative. Real gamers run HQ and cup the punitive. It's way too hard. I think, sorry, we do draw creative, not credit creative. I misspoke. We do draw creative. Don't creative keep your cards? No, it's a click for 4 credit button. They only win on double punitive. We have to. I think it's draw creative for sure. Interestingly, if we lose both of our fractors, how bad it is for us. It's not great. Now on their turn, we Simulchip Copulation. Action. We can wait to see if they have a Rashida. Do you have start turn triggers? I'm assuming Gyro knows we're going to crack this. But we can wait to respond to Rashidas and stuff like that. Because there's a window before they take their first click, but after they take their starter turn. It doesn't matter, but in theory we can respond a bit better. Stead, how's it going? Did you join the Marvel Snap League? So we'll trash the Copulation. We can't Very importantly, we're not allowed to take the coalescence credits. Don't take them. So we're going to leave them there. Okay, we're on 6. So double punitive and econ play. We lose the YDL punitive. Wait, I get it now? Yeah. Been playing a little bit. Okay, it was you. Fantastic. All right. So we don't have 4 credits here. This is only on our turn. Who would think you can't take the coalescence credits? I'm pretty sure whoever that is, they're very charming. Why can't you take the coal credits? Oh, Eric is super charming too. It says you can't. Use this ability only during your turn. It's just like flip switch. Most people will forget. I have no doubt there's footage of you, Eric, on paper, not being enforced by the JNet cops. I am charming. There you go. Cool. Isn't there like one pay to bill after your discard step? Yeah, but it's still in your turn. Oh, wait. You're right. Is there a window? Is there a window on our turn? All right, unless they drew double punitive. Yeah, I don't know. There is none. Why would you not have done on your turn? Yes, there is. I think there is. Where's my reminder card? There might be. Hans, I think we're okay. It's a lat window. Yeah, it's a lat window. I think there's a chance that we could have done it. But it's on our turn, but it's after discard. No, but the lat window is before discard. It's after discard down. Oh yeah, maybe we could have. How does Stoneship work? So Stoneship has a window before end of turn trigger, hand size trigger. So there's the hand size discard step, and then there's the end of turn step the same. Okay, it's a fanciful punitive. It is. I'd have to check. If you already procced lily pad, it wouldn't work. I don't think we did, Kevin, but that's a good thing to keep in mind. I would have maybe messed it up. Does anybody know what the timing is? Rules.netrunner. Because there's never spell it right on the first time. There's punitive math going on, mind you. So it's just how much money does Gyro want to spend to make us miserable? And the wins in the remote server. Timing of a run of a turn. So the runner discard cards, paid ability windows. So there is a window here that we could do it. However, if we haven't used lily pad, that's the best time to give us the most money. That was technically correct because then we'd be dodging this punitive, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we messed that up because we didn't fire lily pad, I don't think. Yeah. So the cool thing on the new Netrunner hub is that this is not what I wanted. That's actually really bad. You're able to hyperlink to these sections, right? Yeah, okay. So timing structure. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a robot, I hope, on Twitch or whatever. The hyperlinks to this. Does that work? Yeah, so we can get a hyperlink to this because that's important. Cool. I use exclamation target on GLC. Yeah, I know. Yeah, here we don't have that. The extra credits would have cost the core more and left them destitute, so you could grab the one agenda to win the game. Yes, but I don't think it's right to punitive for tempo here. Now we do have to watch out that we don't just punt the game, but I'm pretty sure we're going to pay no amount of money unless the amount of money makes sense. Because mind you, with this Aesop's Coalescence, we bounce back relatively quickly here. Because the Coalescence is +4 and the Pawnshop is 7. There should be a window to take the Coalescence credits before the Pawnshop window. So paying 12 to keep this hand is actually really good. This Coalescence already is worth a fair bit. I'm going to keep our hand, I think. This is new. This doesn't win. I've been clicking this button and waiting for it to go through. You also have to hit this. Don't pay. I think we pay. I think we pay here. All we have to do is run archives. But like, this is 6 damage. You're right. Would I pay 12 for this hand? No. But honestly, yeah, that's to pressure propeller spike. We have no simul chips. Like, if we lose these, we lose all our fractors. And then we have only one more simul chip in the whole game. I think paying 12 here is fine. Like, they have so much work to do, and we don't have to respect punitive anymore. I think paying there is reasonable. YouTube needs plugin support. Oh, it desperately does. The fact that YouTube has no plugins is like the worst part about YouTube streaming. Yeah, you have 7 cards on Coalescence. Exactly. We have a lot of money. This is 7 cards. This Coalescence is plus 5. Like, it's not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good hand. Simul chip is plus 7 credits, right? Like, it's pretty good. Yeah, and then we have this, like, we have a Nuka, so it's not the worst. So take clicks. There is a window here. I'm gonna. So we're using the coalescence first. I'm just gonna do it manually. I should have done that before hitting start a turn trigger. Oh, that's too many. Okay, so we're gonna run archives as a start to flip the cards up. There's nothing that will hurt us, and then we just continue setting up. We're pretty sure this is a 3-1. We can consider contesting it. If we want to do that, we just need to get our killer down first. I think Zach Judge called it EMEA. Oh, about whether there's a window at the start? Yeah, there is. Because it's the window that you can res Rashidas and stuff like that. So you can just use your stuff there. It's on your turn. And then there's start a turn window. What if 3 Nightmare Archives will take 3 core damage, actually? It'll be fine. Start scoring onthologicals, we call the judge. All right, so Nancy and a Charlotte. Okay. Nuka for SMC, trick shot to remote to steal the Regena. It's probably on top of an Anoetic because they discarded one. We don't have a reason to do it because it's hard for them to make this Regenesis work. But Score's carrying out a blank 3-1. So it's in our best interest just to like, just continue to just tank forward. Because we're going to need our killer soon. So I think we just do simulchip pressure spike. Yeah, I think we just do simulchip pressure spike here. We have access to the simulchip we want at this turn, but it shouldn't be a problem. Mary trick to see 4 cards. We're not really in a rush to do it. Like if this is a Nancy or sorry, a Saisantan, we probably lose the game. I just don't want to lose the game. Gyro has so much work to do. Like this is where you can, again, I'm not endorsing this, but time is going to matter for Gyro here. Gyro's in the seat that he has to close the game out. Not us. Is there a reason not to take the leave credits on your turn? It obfuscates our credit potential. Genuinely, no. Especially if we ran, in theory, we should take it in case there's something like a trace, like a hard Oppo research, a hardening news, public trail, that sort of card. I'm not expecting any of that. But this just makes it harder for Gyro to understand how much money we have. It's like people forgetting that you have a no free lunch. Sometimes you want to make your opponent have the ability to make a mistake. But no, I actually don't think it's worth anything. You should just take it. Trojan Horse? Yeah, Trojan Horse is probably, again, another card I'm not expecting, but in a lot of matchups, you should just take it. Especially because now if we have to like react somehow to simulchip to something on their turn, we're throwing out this money. So you definitely should not do what I'm doing, but it's not going to be, we're not going to be punished for it. Do we spec work? Yeah, we should spec work the coalescence. I don't think we pawn shop it. It's very rare to see a pawn shop deck that's not also on daily casts. The coalescence is pretty good. Daily cast is a bit slow, but it's a 6 credit econ card in pawn shop decks, which is hard to put down. We're not going to be punished for it. New shirt. They somehow pull public trail damage and a line out of another dimension. Yeah, even then we'll be fine, right? Like we'll simulchip something. You're worried about reversed accounts? Yo, Z, yeah, that's true. There's some reasons that you actually want to dock it. Like, I would say sooner Crypto Crash. Like there are some board states where keeping your money on top of cards like Crypto Crash is correct. It's obviously not this matchup, but yeah, there's some reasons to care about it. We have to run archives every single turn because they're going to be discarding, and we know they have a 3-1 on the table. So if they ice up archives, discard a 5-3, it's definitely a gambit, but we have to run archives every single turn for the rest of this game, unless we crack their most server and win. Eco Warfare, yeah, there's an Eco Warfare. We probably should have the money, but technically we can boost our pressure spike and get to like 3 credits and duck it, but weird. Eco Warfare says if able, lose 4 credits. If you're not able, you don't. I think we spec work. I don't think we have to hit the Nuka here. We're in no rush. Eco Warfare. I think we're going to struggle with Eco Warfare. Again, we only have 1 Eco. So like even preserving our simulchips is important. Like we don't want a simulchip for coalescence because if they ever end up trashing like a Saisantan, which Eco breaks for I think 4 after hosting, maybe even more honestly. I don't have the numbers of Eco internalized really well. I don't play that kind of shaper that often. Yeah, that's a problem because we only have so many simulchips. At least we have 3 muses still. Lose 4 credits if able. Does that mean if you have 3 credits, you lose none? Exactly, center aisle. And so what a lot of folks realize for that interaction, and also toll booth in very rare cases, that you're allowed to use the paid abilities to pump icebreakers at any paid ability window. So if you're expecting economic warfare, you can say, hold on, before you take your first click, I'll pay 2 credits to get my pressure spike plus 3 strength, and then I'll be on 3 credits, and then economic warfare is, I think currently with N6, you might not be even able to play it, but you definitely won't lose your 3 credits because it says a Fable. It'll break for 2, I think, after hosting. Is it strength 2 or is it strength 1? Okay, so we hit the start turn button. JNet lag is catching up with us, so we should be able to just do this the manual way. No N6 for events, you can play to do nothing. Did they officially change that? I thought they were just on the way of changing it. Why do you not resolve as much of the instruction as possible? Size is strength 2? Oh, I know Sicenton is, but what is Eco strength? I thought Eco is 1 and you have to boost. Yeah, we don't have to pawn it. All right. Breakers are assembling. Ideally, with this list, we want to draw into another environmental testing. This one is on 3 before we start installing more things. Yeah, we want to get another environmental testing on the table. I'm going to run archives. There's no good tempo way to run archives besides running archives. But we just need to make sure that we don't get a Regenesis scored. GG. Yeah, just going for it. Are we Kikoing? Cool. Yeah, JM, how's it going? Okay, all the points are in there. Hey, good game. Yeah, I think that's a hard spot to be in. Like, not losing your win condition and the opponent being up 6 points means they don't have to respect your stuff anymore, and they can just run archives whenever they want. That's a hard spot to be in. We were really good that we got the lily pad early and we got the tech and we had enough money fast enough. We had a really good econ start. Like, our econ start in this game versus the PD game, like, was night and day. Hey, catch you around, eh? And that's really quite good. We have 23 cards left. Mind you, you can shave 2 cards off this deck, I imagine, at some point. But getting your money up is pretty good. Okay, I see you there. They're on the way to reinforming N6 completely, according to the article. The first step was removing it from events. So it's officially off of events and operations. You can just play Diesel whenever you want. Yeah, Jim, if you don't know, a bunch of folks playing in the UK brought Akiko to a lot of events on the weekend, and it did really, really quite well. Shout out to both QTM and QEH. He threw out a Charlotte, which is weird. Yeah, it's because the remote server was busy. I think there's a chance that you have to pivot there where you want to put the Charlotte, maybe. That was a weird game. Good game, Gyro. Because, like, there's a Regenesis in the remote server for sure. So maybe you have to pivot and put the Charlotte in the remote server and advance it. The problem is, like, if you do install single events in the remote server, we're pretty sure we know what it is. But the win was on the table if we can get through one Isa Anoetic, and even just, like, forcing the Anoetic out. Is QEH a QTM spinoff? I'm not sure if it's a spinoff. I think it's another, like, queer testing group. It's a near print. I know, like, QTM at some point, like, I wouldn't say they're full, but, like, I've heard that a couple months ago. It's like your organization, your testing group can only be at a certain size. So it might just be folks from another area also coming together to make a testing group, which is sick. I think it's really, really cool. The fact that there's, like, more than one, you know, queer testing group is like, hell yeah, go Netrunner. Like, it's great. The moment I went for their Genesis, I drew into the remaining back pros. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. We realized on that turn, like, for the punitive, obviously it doesn't do anything. And I don't think you needed that much more money, but we definitely could have, we had a window there to take the coalescence credits to make the punitive trace bad. But I think ultimately the corp spending, like, what is it, 13 credits on the punitive was actually good for us. Because we spent 12 and we bounced back in a turn. Having the corporation spend that much money, I think we're happy with it, Gyro, when you throw the punitive. There's something funny about Regenesis being a better fork as a 4-2 with Charlotte than as a 3-1. I don't often see, like, that's the thing is, though, it's like Regenesis, you don't often see it install advanced. Because Regenesis can't trigger on a turn that you put a card into archives, right? So you can't, like, somehow Hansei a card and then score the Regenesis. And as soon as you install it advance, if you don't think the deck is on Lacosta, right? Like, you're pretty sure you know what it is. And if it's on Lacosta, it doesn't advance. I don't know. I don't see enough install advance Charlotte, which is, like, such a fun play. Because if they don't run it, it's like immediately 7 credits in a card draw or 8 credits over 2 turns. And 2 card draw, which is really good. And it's not that we see a lot of NGO, but we played, like, on stream against Pincel, I think, last week. And he was playing Charlotte in his PD deck and he installed advanced in remote server. We spent so many resources getting in and we're like, this is super suspicious. And it was a Charlotte. I think it was even installed advanced maybe. Or like, there's no way that this is an Ikoa behind a single ice. I was for sure, but I'm sure you'd have a lock after that. So my option is that it was a tempo game after that point. Yeah, I just think you lose that tempo game. I hear you. I think you're right, but I think the tempo game is you need to take your 25 credits and put 2 ice on your remote server and jam on top of an anoetic. I don't think it's spend 12 credits to make me spend 12 credits. I think Charlotte should be IA'd in RH. I think if people IAA a Charlotte and RH if they're set up, the game is so interesting because nobody's expecting you to do that to a Charlotte. That being said, they're probably fine with you getting your first 5-3 if you score it out that way. Overinstall Charlotte with a Charlotte will never make me giggle. Yeah, it's good. Ooh, sports, 49 cards. Shout out, Tuno also played, I think it's called Veruca Sports, a sort of Amani Sanai sports decks. Thanks, you too. Not sure how the matchup's going to be, but it's a deck. I think it's on 2 Amani. It's on like Wage Workers and then Warm Reception and Prototype. Burner's good against Sports Metal. We have no Claw. No, wait, this variant has Claw, right? No, it doesn't. We're on Fermenter. Excuse me. So the best opening that we could have is like SMC Specwork into Prisha, which if you watched Cascadia, Sokka showed how good that line is. This hand is definitely not bad. A lot of the heavy work here is if Anuka finds something for spec work, for creative. Like this hand is, it's fine. It's not bad. Amani Sanai is an evil card. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I think like you end up in prisons as much as our most like, what's the worst case here with bounce environmental testing? No, they mold. This could be any sports metal, mind you. We're expecting this to be Rashida. If it's a gatekeeper, how bad is it? I don't think it's that bad. I think we just face check and see what happens. They're on 5 credits. Burner, I don't like Burner because this could either be a Spin Doctor or Rashida, and then the tempo loss from the Burner is not that great. Like Burner in this matchup, we're trying to target things like Audacity, maybe Seamless Launch. I don't love Burner on turn 1. Jaguar Sports. Oh, this could be core damage. I don't know. We'll find out. Hey, Osiris-san, excuse me. I recently came back to Netrunner after like a decade or 2. I'm super happy to see the community being so LGBTQA friendly has made local meetups much less stressful. Oh, for sure. Firstly, bummer to hear that that there's stress around that sort of stuff, obviously. But the community for this game is incredible on like 17 different angles. So I'm glad you're finding a place that you're feeling comfortable. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Saving grace of Amani is that there's usually only 1 on the list, unlike Joy Workers. Now, a lot of the Veruca sports decks are on like 3 of them. This one's on 2 probably, if this is the list Tuno played. Yeah, it's a Trank. We're actually going to trash the Trank, I think. It's important enough, and we can like get back into the game with Creative Commission. So like in theory here, we could do Burner, Credit Creative. That actually might be okay. I kind of like it, honestly. Now the corporate hospitality, we're putting that on the bottom of the deck. I don't care about that. The issue is if we run HQ here, stealing the Vitruvius is good. Like there's a lot of agendas you don't want to touch. So hospitality goes on the bottom because they can hospitality back the tranquility. So I'm just getting rid of that. Now we can put the Ikko on top of the deck. So if they score the Vitruvius, they draw into it. It means that we won't creative this turn, which is uncomfortable. But we can't steal this. So I think I'm just going to steal 2 points and see that their hand next turn. Like they're going to draw the Ikko. I actually don't think we run this. Because the question here is thinking. The question here is if we run HQ, Sports Metal fires. They'll probably go for 2 card draw. But if we don't run, if we do Credit Creative Commission, then we're able to nuke next turn, and then we know their hand is 2 agendas. Now the question is, can they res a piece of ice to score out of Vitruvius, which is kind of tempo negative? I don't actually think we run it. I think we just do Creative Commission. Like if they start their next turn with an empty HQ, sorry, an open HQ with 5 points in hand, like what are they doing? I don't think we run it. Running a turn, if they weren't Sports Metal, we'd 100% run it. Not even 100%, probably run it. I don't think we run it. Stealing 2 points is good. Maybe. I'd have to watch the replay on this. But if they get the Sports Metal here, they come back. So now we know half of HQ is an Ikoa, which is even better for us, right? So I think here we like probably run HQ first so the Gatekeeper doesn't get us. We have a 50% on getting the Ikoa, which is the best agenda for us to steal, I think. And then we don't care if we res a Gatekeeper, which this is a Gatekeeper or Drafter. Like, this is good. We'll see what they do. They gain 2 credits. If this is an MIC, it's not great. If it's a drafter, it's not great. 1 unknown card in HQ, and they didn't draw, so I don't think this is an agenda. So I think here we just run server 1. If it's an MIC, we lose everything. Ah, that's interesting. If we're not stealing enemy, probably putting down Nuko is better than burner turn 1. Yeah, but I didn't expect to see those 5 points, right? Like I expected to drop a greasing or something like that. This is an interesting game. Nuka, maybe. We could do like Nuka run server 1. Drafter is really bad right now. It's not good. It's definitely not good. But with Drafter, we're pretty sure this is Vitruvius. If they scored a Vitruvius, are we upset? I don't think we're that upset if they scored a Vitruvius. So maybe we can just do Nuka and set up. Now, if they res a Gatekeeper or res a Drafter, it's really not good for us, but it's actually hard for us to, I think, face check into a Drafter. Like, no matter what. But if they just score a Vitruvius, they spend 3 credits. They'll get 2 back with Sports Medal. Check the other card? No, it's very unlikely that's anything worth our time. Because if it was an agenda, they would have drawn 2 with Sports Medal. All right. We have Coalescent spec work. We're on 2 credits, install it. We're fine. If they scored a Vitruvius, I don't think we're super upset about it. Drafter isn't that bad. It's not terrible. Like the Trank coming back, we're not going to trash it. Okay. Maybe it was an HQ. I don't know. Like imagine we ran HQ and found the Vitruvius though. Click for creds? Weird. Yeah, it's strange. It definitely is strange. Something's afoot. Okay, we have Fermenter. The deck is probably on Mav. I totally forget we're at Akiko, by the way. Notice how we're not pressuring R&D. HP is so good at making about the remote server that the R&D is like, maybe we need to make about R&D, but I think that's already kind of hard. I think here we just do Fermenter Creative. That might be more money than we actually need. We might be overextending. I think it's still in HQ. Like maybe we just run HQ, hit Creative. I just think it's so unlikely. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. I don't like this run. Like, what is this? It's probably not ice. It might be a crappy 1-pointer, which like, I don't think we want to touch that. I think we just like let them flounder in whatever they have. Okay, our money's on board. I'm having a hard time reading this board state. I think Gatekeeper is the worst to ice on server 1. I think it's not as bad as Drafter. Run server 1 and force a res if it's a Gatekeeper. I wasn't expecting that. That's cool. That was a lot of money for them though. I don't think we feel bad about that. So they can bring back Tranquility. I think I'm good about this. They're on 4 credits. Okay, I'm going to pinhole the shit out of that Holloman. That thing has to die. All right, that's cool. That was very expensive. I don't think we're upset about that. So now if they top deck into a Greasing or something like that, that's how they get their money up. We could have face checked into this, arguably. 4 credits. I think we're going to end up doing a Pretty Merry SMC, so that we probably want to do Environmental SMC. Because with Simulchip, we actually get to credit totals pretty quickly. World's most expensive Vitruvius. Vitruvius on 2 counters is messed up. Like, it is very good. It technically is more Hollow Man. Like, I see it. Why pinhole now? Could have waited a turn? Yeah, you're right. We didn't exactly have to. If they did install, pay 4... Yeah. It's tricky. You're right. They were about 1 credit short. But if they have like a 3-1, they might have Hollow Maned it out because they pay like 5, gain back 5. Probably not. Okay, I want card draw here. Okay. This takes up to 7. We can install Simulchip. We can play... Oh, that's a bit expensive. I think we just do Simulchip pretty. Double Simulchip is also pretty sick. But I think do Simulchip pretty so that we can just open with a trick shot. Letting them score 3-1 with sports to escape the prison we built seems like a bad idea. What do you mean, Mether? Vitruvius counters the Hollow Man back. They can use the same turn, right? Yeah, they can use the same... Sort of? Okay, so it looks like it's Tranquility in server 1. It might be a bluff. I think we're just going to ignore it and go central servers. This looks like a Tranquility because 1 Vitruvius counter was used. They're on 11 credits now. So we can easily take Fermenter. I'm going to ask for action. It's unlikely, but I'm still going to do it. Second chip gets you your NV. First chip can get us our NV if we want to. So we can fermenter, or we can just go straight trick shot. I don't think we need our NV. It's good that we're able to contest two things. So I actually do think, yeah, we want this. So we can contest both R&D and trash server 1. So if they don't res, we can trash the tranquility really cheaply. Do we fermenter crack? I think we need to, yeah. Because with this, oh no, with environmental testing, we don't have to fermenter crack actually, right? Because SMT into the breaker, we'll have 5 credits to work with. 5 credits gets us every single breaker, and then suddenly we get 9. Is that enough? It might. Yeah, we're getting 9 credits. Yeah, that should be enough. We can greed the fermenter. Actually, maybe this is bad because there's a big chance that fermenter we're going to run into a virus on R&D. But at minimum, if they don't res here, we can pay some games that we can test server 1. Oh, shit. Okay. So that's good that we use propeller. So propeller breaks for 3 credits. It's pretty good. The other option is we can't afford it. So I'm going to go for the propeller here. That's a big one. I think it's okay for us. Because we have 3 simul chips. So we break this for 3 credits. I didn't use the trick shot. It's fine. We'll use the credits. So we'll do trick shot. Then pretty. We're going to use these on server 1. It's fine. And then access 1 additional card. Yeah. Then we have to play a side game. Second, excuse me. Two. That's a terrible bid. I'm not doing that. Spinner. We want to spend the same. I think they're gonna spend. Probably gonna spend 0. Okay, that's sick. You have to death. All right, they got some money. We got a hyperloop. Consult the fidget spinner. Rashida. That's what did they do? They drew 2 cards. So this is a trank. I think we trashed the Rashida with Pretty Mary at some pressure. We can always triple click through the Brawn if we need to. I mean, okay. Trash, sometimes you don't. I think every time is incorrect. I think I've seen a lot of games where people trash cards off the top of R&D and it's fuck. Akiko, no! Why did you have to see 4 cards? We should have cracked it first, let's be honest. Why did you have to see 4 cards? Should have paid 2 credits. If we spent 2 credits on the side spinner, we wouldn't have hit that. It was trying to warn us. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That's really bad. Okay, so I think we bounce here. It's a Tranquility home grid, but we're on game point. We have Pretty Mary down. I think we've done enough. I don't think we want to pay to get our Unity out here. We're losing trick shot credits, so actually we should just pay to get our Unity out. Yeah, we should just pay to get our Unity out. We could have used credits off the trick shot on the bronze, so this is a bit of a fallacy. This actually could be an agenda if they're like really playing us. So this costs 2 to break and then we can't, so we're just gonna let it fire. I don't know. I feel like we mismanaged our economy when we lost 8 credits. You can also summon Leaf. Yeah, we might have to do that next turn. Ah, bummer. I'm sorry, I meant summon Leaf. We got it. So if we install this, next turn, can we make money for Lily Pad into Coalescence? I don't think we need to put the Coalescence down. Let's just continue to draw. Okay. Damn it. I knew there was a Mav in there. We should have cracked it. Yeah, we should have believed in ourselves. We're on game point. They have a fair bit of work to do. Okay, so they didn't bluff. That's great. Magnets 2. We don't know anything that they're drawing. Because it was Agenda, Rashida, Agenda, Mav. We can run Brawn and just triple click through it, which honestly might be fine. Okay. I don't think we have to do it. You can get your 4 axes on R&D and win the game. I think it's only 3. And that's only if we win the side game. If we fail the side game, we see 1. So it's not great. We want a trick shot. Okay. This Muse is fine. So we need to get our money back in. Okay. We have to tie the side game for 4 accesses. It's only 3 accesses. 1 from Akiko, 1 from Pretty. But if we miss, we see 1 card because Pretty needs Akiko. Use, yeah, we need those cards though. We don't have SO trick shot. Yeah, once we get those, 100%. So the question is, do we do environmental testing first? Like, probably, but I think we do Muse and environmental testing. Like, I think we just have to get the coalescence down here, which is a bit ugly. Do you think we can contest this? Install NV, install chip back leaf, install leaf, install NV. I don't think there's anything we want to chip back. Like, we could do it now, but we also want to get Lily Pad down first. We simply draw Iru here. So we can run server 1, pay for 2. What do we think is the remote server? It's probably an agenda. I think Cursor has to just push it. It also could be like a Holloman. If they get a Holloman down, it's pretty expensive. Imagine being up 6 points and still somehow losing. It could happen to us. It could happen to anyone. So here, thinking, what do we do? If we drop environmental testing, we go down to 2 credits. With Fermenter, we might be on 4. We can always simulchip coalescence to get us closer to environmental testing, and then we can Muse on top of the coalescence. That'll probably get us there. I just want to get a lily pad down before we start doing anything ridiculous. But I think we need the environmental testing to push ourselves forward because we don't have a pawn shop. I don't like this. I feel like we're playing what we have. If you take the beat, you get a lot more credits. You can set up your card draw. Yeah, we have to take the beat here and just assume that nothing they put on their remote server. Like, we haven't stolen the Mega Pre yet, which is also pretty sick. You don't need lily pad. I think we do. Our MU is kind of clogged. Game's almost over. Nah, the game can be a fair bit longer unless we get lucky. They do have a lot of 1-pointers. Okay, it looks like it's a Manny or a Holloman. And this is where like the questions come about, like, is Akiko better than Lat? Like, Akiko's fired a bit. But will we like 3 more influence and a bit of free card draw? I think the answer is yes. Trank to draw? Oh, sorry, to gain 2. Then they basic drew. Okay. Fingers crossed I hook another player from the Honolulu Playgroup last night. Oh, how'd it go, David? Teaching? You're throwing games so people are feeling good? I never throw games to new players. They die to my Urtica. I advanced to 7. Okay, so let's think about this. There's an agenda in there for sure. If it's Holloman, they could be on game point. Draw Ear just wins. A Draw Ear likely just wins. You're not wrong. The problem is we have 24 cards. Did they not throw and did not have to throw any games. They picked up pretty quickly. Let's go. So our options are simulchip a propeller, see up to 1 card on RD, up to 3 cards on RD. That's the range between 1 and 3. Pretty volatile. I think we're going to start for a draw here. Okay, this changes the math on everything. Because now we can trick shot. We'll have, doing the math, 5 credits. We simulchip the propeller. And then we can still run the remote server. Can we get environmental testing to fire? I don't think so. Why simulchip when you can just spend all your clicks? Well, not because we drew trick shot now. But you're right. If we didn't, we could just click through it, which would have been fine. So I think we probably fermenter here for 4. No, I don't think so. We're not going to find another virus. That'd be ridiculous. So yeah, I think we just simulchip the propeller. I think we just trick shot. Pay 3. Then the question is, can we contest this remote server? This is a drafter. It's kind of bad. But that's it. Pop fermenter install pressure spike. I don't think we want to. We bake Braun for 5 plus a 4 credit install, right? Like, I think we're so close to the end of the game that I'm trying to avoid doing that. If anything, we should like discard this install for 1. Lily pad, trick shot, chip the leaf from Muse, more leaf. Lily pad, we can't afford it. If we do fermenter, we're on 6. Lily pad, we're down to 2. And then if we trick shot, we can't steal Aquas. I think we just go. I think we just simulchip propeller and go. Mostly say the simulchip than anything else doing the line. Yeah, I know, but like it's really expensive. Install for 4, break for 5. Like we don't want to spend 9 on a Braun, but we can spend 3. I'm just gonna go for it. Cool thing is you can do this. Never mind. I forgot how Propeller worked. There's nothing cool about it. Let's see what happens. Noma virus, one time. Trick shot. Pretty. Yes. All right, we want them to spend the same as us. I'm kidding, we can't afford anything. They'll pay maybe one? They paid one. Drafter off the top. Mega Pre, can be that easy sometimes. Good game. That one might have made sense, but I think we just need the credits. I think seeing 2 on R&D is enough for us. So Akiko fired twice. Did it matter? Yeah, it definitely did matter. One of them we had to hard read. I think we could have hard read both of them. As much as paying 1 credit there is slightly uncomfortable. But yeah. Side game stats, I closed it. I think side game stats for Akiko are different though, because I think Akiko's success is different than every other success. Maybe not runner side success. JNet needs a way to bring the stats window back. It 100% does. Or I need to respect it more because I'm used to closing it pretty quickly because I never read it. Yeah, I wish there was a button to bring it back up. Akiko made them ice R&D with Brawn early. I think they do that anyways though. Like, I don't think that's Akiko. I think with Trick Shot, like, you still kind of want to put a good enough ice on R&D. And at the end of the day, right, Iru shows up at some point. But I don't think the Brawn and R&D is too dissimilar to what you want to do. Akiko maybe slightly more. But it also just might have been the ice they drew. The stats area in the match history page, are they all complete there? 2/clear win and then do it again. I really want to fit Psych Mike in here. Patrick, it doesn't always work though. Psych Mike's only on successful run. So it doesn't work with Iru. That's the only card it doesn't work with, but like, there's way better econ cards than already win more thing. Because sucking whenever I play on stream continues. Ah, sorry, Cursor. You had a really weird opening. You had a very, very strange opening. Does that pad my win rate? What are we doing on time? It's like only 2:30. Sick. All right. Let's try this one. Sorry, this one. This is Tuno's version. Let's talk about the differences, right? So the econ is slightly different. We're on 3 Sure Gamble, 1 Creative. This list is only on 3 Creative. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. Sure Gamble is in some ways better, in some ways worse. It's easier to like eat the lily pad early install. And we have 1 more lily pad. And lily pad's really good for us. Like, we do want an early lily pad. So turn 1, you can afford Sure Gamble, lily pad, install a program. That's kind of a really cool interaction. That being said, when you have lily pad, you can always do lily pad, creative commission, and you can recover from it. But it's actually, I've heard this discussion from a lot of like Arisana players, especially like old school Arisana players like Jeff. The whole idea is creative or Sure Gamble better for your deck. And Sure Gamble's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. We're on triple Pinhole. Pinhole's been pretty good. Notice upgrades really matter in the meta. Otherwise, that's the same. 3 lily pad, 3 sandwich chip. Now we're only on a single Pretty Mary, the Silva, and I'm fine with that. Pretty Mary's been good though, but I'm okay with that idea. We're on DJ Fenris, which is cool for a bit more HQ pressure, unless there's anything else spicy we want to get to. We're only on 2 NB testing, which actually might be worse for Andre, because I respect NB testing, and a lot of times when I know I have programs in hand and we haven't seen NB testing, I'll try and draw for NB testing. And when we're on only 2 of them, like, maybe drawing for NB testing is wrong, so I'll have to keep that in mind. We're on Copulation, which hasn't been that important as much as it is a cool card. I need to keep in mind that we have access to that. I'm not playing remembering we have access to Copulation, and we have a Vizarum. We're on 3 Muse SMC. I think this version is on the exact same. And then our Breaker Suite is interesting. We're an Oiler, which is cool. It is a code gate breaker that breaks really well on the turn it comes down. And that's our only code gate breaker. Not that we've broken a lot of code gates today, but this technically breaks 4 credits for a gatekeeper. Not bad on the turn it comes down. Eco's still the thing that I'm confused. Pressure Spike and Propeller are options. This seems very, very similar. It's cool. We keep playing Trick Shot with Mary when Akiko's the most valuable when we run R&D and the ID represents 2 axes. Yeah, but think about that, Meteor. Like, we have to run R&D. We have to break a Brawn with limited resources, and then we have to win a side game, which we only do arguably 1 and 2 times, charitably, not 1 and 3 times. The corporation could always pay 2 credits in theory. And then all of that just to make Iru work. Or sorry, to make to Mary work. Right? Like, if we only see 1 card, Mary doesn't fire. So doing all of that and spending all those resources in a very quick game where all your clicks really matter just to see a single card behind a Brawn is like messed up. Like, that's not worth it for us. So I don't think that I like Pretty Mary unless we have a Nyasha, or more accurately for this deck, Trick Shot. You know what I mean? Like, it's not great. You're just rolling the die and hoping it works out for you. Speaking of Nyasha, I gotta make that swap in my World Tree deck. Yeah, it's a cool card. It comes up in some of the conversations on some of the deck lists too. Like Nyasha is arguably like very comparable to Akiko and actually more consistent to Akiko. Like make this lat, make a Nyasha might be more consistent and you have a bit more influence, but the Kiko seems to be working, which is cool. This. Suggesting cutting a girl from girls blasphemous. Oh, 100%. 100% roast me for it. Like totally. I think that's the worst thing you could do to the list, but also it could work. Nyasha's sick in World Tree. John has it going. It's like the sort of slot that I want. What's it called to be? Oh, Andrea left. It's for like the tempo cataloger at hardware. Doesn't work. Simply win the side game. I also played Girls and Knots. You have to lose the side game, don't you? Right? Like you're disfavored as much as making the corpse spend money. Oh, this seems like a good hand. Op. What kind of op is Arizon on? Is this... Who's playing the hero version? Arizon or Joe at Cascadia? Hey, best of luck. Have fun. I'm not sure what the read is. This hand is fine. Like spec work, sure gamble. Parisha is good if there's assets. Chairman hero up. Was that you, Joe, or was it Alex? Couldn't have been me. I was in the top cut. No, I think that deck won, didn't it? Oh, in the top cut. I see what you mean. So it was Alex. The top cut of standard. Because I think that deck was also in the top cut of throwback. Op hits playing for side games. This is going to be fun. No, they don't. All right, this looks like it's eminent op. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We're assuming this is an asset. We're assuming this ends the run. So we can always diesel, see what happens. It actually might be right to do face check and then pinhole. We have 3 pinholes, so we don't have to be too precious. This looks like a Rashida. The problem is if this is like an Afshar and we lose 2 credits, we're a bit upset about it. So in theory, we could do a Parisha run and see what happens. And if we get bounced to a pinhole, because this forces the res. Now, if it's a Tranquility Home Grid, which is actually not uncommon in op decks now, tempo op, the Parisha's useless. Gamble SMC run, it's really hard to make Gamble SMC work for us. Especially in op, like a lot of times I think committing early to your programs is bad in op where they can like extract or border control and make a different problem, right? Like what happens if we spend all our resources pulling out a Fractor? Now they're in 2 credits, so I'm going to pinhole this and assume that it's a Rashida. If it's an eminent, they can't score it easily. Nailed it. Okay, good. Yeah, gamble face check pinhole. Did we have pinhole before we dieseled though? That was the other option, is like gamble face check. And admittedly now gamble's a bit harder to do, so it could have been correct to gamble instead and just not do the Parisha. I was expecting that to be, I don't know, maybe wall to wall. Maybe a Parisha was worse than gamble. It obviously was here looking at this turn. 3 credits, okay. So we probably need to get a breaker up. Spec time? Against this deck, yeah, we probably do spec work at the Parisha. And then we can just do run. So we could do here SMC run. We can pull out a propeller, which is really good. So propeller comes down for 3 credits. We break for 2 credits, unless we want to give Arizon a credit. Arizon cracks the border control. It's good to get that down earlier than later. We cannot come back unless we do SMC run, and then we're 1 click short to install one of our breakers. So I think our goal here is just to crack the border control. Eminence the worst case scenario. Ika's okay at Archer though. "14 games, Jane, it's getting a bit laggier. Pressure spike, expensive. Propeller, cheap. And this berry is not going to stay around for that much longer. Do we want to pay 2 credits? I think with the sure gamble, we can afford 2 credits. Arizon's on 3. Cool. Get that out of the way. We'll see if it's another Rashida. That'd be not good for us. If it's an eminent, he goes down to 0. I don't think we have the hand to put pressure. Maybe Akiko puts pressure on R&D. I think we're forgetting that Akiko is putting pressure on R&D. Like we could just run R&D and see 2 cards. If it is an STS deck, like a bit ugly. And we're assuming there's going to be an Afshar there, yeah. So Euler breaks Afshar for free the turn it comes down, which is kind of sick. Especially if it's like a border control turn, you have to run it a couple times, but no Rashida. Not sure what we're protecting there. Credit? What's in the remote server? Yo, does anyone know what's in the remote server? What the heck? We haven't learned enough about this deck whether we have to respect stuff. Runner and Divas, not Rashida, feels so good. I don't know if it feels great. It feels okay though. Maybe it's your opponent being laggy? Jaina seems quite responsive. I think I've had issues. Maybe it's Holloman, hard draw. It could be. So we can do Gamble Oiler. I think it might be Tucana is the likely. Wary of Stavka, we have to be. We're on 3 simul-chips, so I'm not like too concerned about Stavka. But here I think we can do just like Sure Gamble, Oiler. We have no other money, which is a problem. Like we only have 2 environmental testing. Our econ is a bit tight, but at least running server 1 is free. I'm gonna check it. I think it's I'm imagining that this might be like a hostile takeover into something, or waiting for Naziev to be slightly better. You see, I can't run, right? I think, oh, that worked. So we fully break after for 0, so it'll be extracted sooner than later. Above the law. Oh, that also makes sense. Yeah, that's cool because we have no resources. So Arzon didn't feel good scoring a blank 3-2. Okay, we need another ice in front of this. Oh. Oh. Just sending it. Aziev hitting Iru is actually really bad. It is an Aziev. Tucana firing really good. Kept the Iru, lost the Muse, lost the Ika. Okay. Sandstone is up. So Propeller doesn't break Sandstone too easily. Tucana is probably not too worrisome. Archives has some cards in it. I think here we can consider face checking RD and just getting a lock on the game because hand is empty. I think we're just going to run and click 1. We could try and get a trick shot. Actually, let's draw ones. Yeah, that's fine. At some point, we need to contest a Tucana. We don't have to contest it now. That's an ice wall. Great. We just want him to spend money. Sandstone. The powers that be. Okay, those are both bad draws. So we'll continue to set up. Do you think we run archives here? That's expensive. We've installed a lot of our cheap stuff. We have 3 coalescence still in the deck. I think we just continue to draw. We can consider checking archives. So the hand will be Sandstone, powers that be. Okay, that's at least okay. We can start with Diesel. Okay, so we know the whole hand. 1 unknown. If it goes into Tucana server, we have to do about it. We don't have a plan for event testing. We do. So that looks like the powers that be. It could be a spin doctor. So we're going to Diesel, hopefully get into a coalescence or something. That's good. So now we can actually set up. So we're going to take a turn off here. So we'll do environmental, coal. And then I think we'll Pawnshop. Yeah. I think we'll just Pawnshop, sell the coalescence. That encourages us to do like Lily Pad simul-chip that turn. But Arzon has a lot of work to do on this board. Say, oh, it's a Svi. That's the 1 card that Arzon drew. That's really, really good for him. Because now he can get a spin doctor. I don't know if checking archives is right. This Rashida can't fire. But Svigator being the 1 unknown card is very, very good. He definitely needed that. So that's powers that be. That's an unknown card. We might want to get a Parisha back. Ice on R&D. So huge turn here. Cool turn. So we know R&D is a Sandstone. That's a 3 credit res. So we have, in 25 cards, we have 2 Rashidas. 2 pinhole threadings. One of these is the powers that be. The other is an unknown card. How do we deal with this? If we run to the Sandstone, it'll be a 5 strength. Arzon could have a virus on the table. Sandstone, mind you, can become a Hollow Man with Svigator speed, which is really scary. Not too scary, but a bit scary. So we have to think our way out of this situation. So Rashida's draw 3, gain 3. Obviously, that's very good. We have 2 pinhole in 25, 1 in 12. If we run the Sandstone, it'll be 5 strength. That's just too big. Run Sandstone twice is like an option, but that's most of our turn. We do run, trash Rashida, trash Tucana is good. And then we can check 1 card on the table. It means Pawnshop is like hanging out. Lose to Mavirus, yeah. It's like if Arzon pays 3 on Mavirus, it's better than him Svi decatoring it. Svi at Dagor. I'll do it right one day. So that's pretty good. It's a bit ugly, but it's not the worst, but it is a bit ugly. Our card draw setup would here be like lily pad simul chip. That puts us environmental on 3, and then we can install an SMC from the bin, get 9, draw a card. I still think we want a propeller through this. I think we're going to need our simul chip for a propeller though, because this is a sandstone as well. I'm worried what the one unknown is. We don't have to check both of them. So worst case is like double Rashida, or in theory, even like a 3-2 on the table, which is not unlikely with this Rashida. There's a 3-2 and a powers that be. That's honestly maybe worse than Rashida. Do we let the Rashida go? I think we might let the Rashida go and just check the table. That seems messed up. Get Parisha back and trash Svi. I'm thinking about it, but like I think we need our simul chip for other stuff. Jai, how's it going? Like we could do lily pad simul chip. Yeah, we might just want to hit this excavator. I'm more worried about it. There's not good targets here, but the sandstone eventually will be a target. The 2-cost slot is like whatever. But I think we actually probably want to deal with the table. With this many assets, maybe we do the Parisha. So we can do lily pad simul chip for the Parisha, use the Parisha, and then have a pawn shop target. That seems fine. And then we can check one card on the table and hope it's a 50-50 we find what could be an agenda because we know the others are powers. If that's the case, we should check the rest of the table first. We should trash the Svi last. Because the Svi is actually super important. So we'll simul chip here for the Parisha. It's a flood. Draw a card, gain 9. Seems good. Always make sure you have more than 2 cards in hand so you don't die ISF. It's an easy one to forget. Draw a trick shot. That's pretty good. We know the ice on R&D. That's a powers. I don't think we want to deal with the powers. We probably should deal with the powers. Because server 3 could be anything. And if it's an agenda, we're in a bad spot. We're already here. Unfortunately, it was a card we knew. That actually might be a bad excavator trash. Because Arzon's going to be on 10 credits. That seems like enough. Jai, good stuff on commentary on the weekend. I got to catch a bunch of it. A bit of it. Not a bunch of it. A bit of it for German Nationals. We probably don't ace-ops the Parisha here. I think it's up to Arzon to produce some code gates that we're interested about. Like, ideally, we empty the propeller, so we'll do trick shot. And then, oh, it's a Maryland. Okay. Why not just fire a trick shot to chase after the Svi? We knew what the ice on R&D was. I think we can get a better trick shot than that. But we know R&D is a sandstone. If Arzon reses the sandstone, are we upset about it? I think we want the get the accesses on trick shot. Shout out to Wiki and Mondi. They gave a lot to work with. Oh, hell yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got to catch a bit of both of them. Maryland's a lot less punishing than some of the other options. Yeah, it's not the worst. Ideally, Arzon like sells it to the excavator. Okay, so the remote server is where the game is. Start a turn triggers. We can pawn the Parisha. It's worth 2 credits on the table. Otherwise, it's worth 3 credits to us. Arzon's only on 9 credits. We can break 2 kinds of ice. This looks like it's easily 4-coster Stavka. So our options here are let this agenda go through with 2 kana. That's not very good. We have no way to draw clicklessly with this hand. I don't think we actually need 3 more credits here. I think the best case scenario here is that we get down the last simul chip, which like Tall Order or a Muse. Oh no, we have 2 simul chips. Okay, and then we just like install that in trick shot. And then we can test 2 servers. If the Maryland survives, worst case again, this is an Azyef. But I think we just let that go. This might just be Hollow Man Azyef. I think we just draw. That's good. I think we want to pinhole the Tucana at a minimum. How bad is our board state if it gets obliterated by an Stavka? I don't actually think it's that bad. The problem is that we actually can't break Sandstone with Trick Shot because Propeller can only get to 4 strength. So that is the biggest issue we have. So we have no way of getting the pressure here. I think we draw once more and we Trick Shot because we know this is a Sandstone. We force the res. Okay, that's a draw. If you're waiting the Parushi, 100% should have simul chip for Coalescence instead. How's it going, Ba? I'm sorry? Yeah, you're right. Like if we simulchip for a coalescence instead of a Prisha, we make more money than the Prisha. Yeah, I think you're right. That it's actually better to not go for the Prisha unless we think it's full assets. Like the coalescence is plus 4 credits, then we can sell it immediately and get 7 credits. This has only been a 2 credit econ card. Eventually it'll be 5. I think you're right. I think that's a really good point that like Prisha seems like the right thing against assets, but if it's not mass assets, like coalescence is honestly comparable. Let's force some reses and then we'll just pull down the Tucana. Also, we're going to get the Maryland for free here too. We know this is a sandstone. How was your games? Yes, last night. We also have to watch out for Mavirus. Mavirus into Holloman is an option. And so getting the Maryland is going to contest the credits here. So Propeller just can't get there. So we can't contest server 1 because Sandstone. It's wild that Sandstone like actually is feeling really good here. So we'll use the trick shot credits because why not? You can shovel that in if you want. And we'll just pinhole down to Ducana. The last pinhole is going to be for a Holloman. There's 2 face downs in archives. I'll get rid of the Tucana. I think that's the worst case for us. It's a Tucana. Now, this hand we could lose. Zef could hit the pressure spike or the Eero. Those are both relatively bad. Maybe bouncing off the sandstone and forcing a res is okay because we have to whittle it down with our propellers. Like I want to get use of our propellers. Luckily, we can like run R&D and see some amount of cards. We'll probably be on threat. Spin. Okay, I don't know what the remote is. But Arzon probably not feeling good scoring out an agenda that doesn't do tempo crimes. Uh-oh, tempo crimes are here. Might be another Tucana 7 credits. Game is slipping away a bit. We need to find agenda so we can threaten R&D. Yes. We always have the Eero backup, but the problem is like, I'm just selling the Prisha. I don't care. I think I just need money. Yeah, that Prisha was a mistake. Third pinhole? Sick. Sell the propeller maybe. I think we want to use the 2 shots on propeller to see 2 on R&D. Right? Like we want to sell the propeller ideally when it's empty, when there's this many sandstones and border controls. Because we only have 1 simulchip left. Or sorry, 2 simulchips left. I mean, we probably do pressure spike sure gamble just because it gives us all this draw. Girls felt like a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been fun so far. We were just trying 2-no's. We were playing Harmon B's version for the beginning of the stream. So if pressure spike comes down, draws one of the lily pads, so we can just do sure gamble pressure spike and just hope nothing terrible happens to us. Something bad will happen, but at least the pressure spike will be on threat 4 next turn, likely. Yes? Yes. Simulchip, okay. So as you have damage is actually pretty notable here. Do we force them to have them a virus? I think going for a single or double is not that great here. We'll see what this is. Oops. So the agenda was halfway there. Might still be a Tucana. Looks like it's an Azef. Eminent. Fuck. Hate this thing. This thing's so annoying. Oops, Archer. Okay, so not only an Archer, but a Malapert. We'll see where the ice comes. We're assuming it's an Archer. Arzon might have drawn it. There's usually 2 Archers. But yeah, this is more of the like sort of tempo asset list. Archer and R&D? Okay, well, at least we have Eero. We're on threat 3, right? Like now we have to draw into our pressure. Now the thing is like I don't want to do Eero until we end up locking. So here we probably should be running Spin Doctor and running HQ. I don't think we want to sell the propeller just yet because it does break Sandstone for a credit once. If only we had that Parisha. I'll draw. Server 1 is probably the Mavirus. That's good. I think we do DJ Fenris, run HQ, run Spin Doctor. Here, if we want more money, Los is not bad. It's a bit too late in the game. Obviously, like, Steve is exactly the sort of finances we want. On 3 credits, there's a lot of stuff they can res on HQ. They can't res a Winchester, which is good. So this will probably force them down to low credits. Afshar is annoying, but we still get in. As much as we don't have, like, a bounce back off of Creative Commission. But we'll probably do, like, Coalescence. Oh, that's not an option. Nice. What are we getting, actually? 2 cards in our heap. What are we getting? Diesel? I think like we just have to do Prisha. We also could do Coalescence Muse. That's fine as well. We have the MU for it. That's probably the best. 2 Pinholes. Pinhole we don't really need on this board state. Eventually it'll be a threat. We also could do like Speckwork Gamble. That's fine too. But I think Muse Coalescence is probably the best. Because I don't want to click for credit for Sure Gamble. We'll do that later. Because Muse is install. It's 2 Pawnshop triggers. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we're actually ending up getting the Coalescence here. And then we will install it just for Lily Pad. Atlas, nice. So we'll install Coalescence, we'll draw 1. That's good. So we win on a 5-3. The deck's probably on. I'd assume SDSs are more likely than Basalt Spires. We'll install Coalescence, get the Lily Pad proc, gain 4. And I think we're in an okay spot now in game point. Especially because the remote server seems relatively fragile. And from this point on, like, we just contest Spin Doctor so they can't break lock. As much as Op is really good at breaking lock, let's not get carried away. And then just Iru. I'll take these now. Cool. Yeah, this Coalescence, mind you, is a positive 5 credit card and a card draw with Lily Pad, which is really great. Okay, so the only thing we don't have is an Ika. Ika breaks Archer. Probably. Does anyone know? I still don't know the numbers on Ika. Hold on. Clear spin before the Audacity. They used an Audacity on turn 1. It's definitely one of our priorities. The deck might be on 2 Audacity, but their first agenda was an Audacity. So I'll be worried about it eventually. But it is our goal to clear the spin before. So we have to boost twice. Break probably at least, yeah, would break 2 for 6 credits. Because you might as well break all of them if you're breaking 2 for. You can technically break it for 5 if you let parts of it fire, which is some of it's okay. Depending on the ordering of the server. Arzon really needs an extract here, but yeah, the Audacity is still in the bin. So I don't think we're too stressed. Yeah, no worries, take your time. Typically Eminent doesn't play the half run. I don't know. I don't think so. Some of the Archer decks are not even on Stavka, but I'm pretty sure one of the last lists Tuno brought to ICC, it was on 2 Archer and 1 Stavka, but it was open deck lists. Hope you can find Mary and go. I don't think we need Mary. I think Mary would be okay. It's one of in this list, mind you. Harmon's is on 2. If we get Mary, we get Mary, but just seeing the top 2, maybe 3 cards with Akiko and R&D means that Arzon needs a shuffle effect to get out of dodge. We're also putting a lot of pressure on HQ here. So it's up to him to build a remote server to ice up HQ. He has a lot of stuff he needs to do here. And we also have Pin for just like soft expose. In fact, pinholing for the virus in server 1 is one of our priorities once he gets his money up to like 1 extract from now, because then he can just like get a Holloman and start fast advancing. Even Eminence, worst case. Oh, what did he get back with Eminent? Sorry, with the Malapur. I didn't even pay attention. Audacity. Oh, he has an Audacity. Oh, that's why you're saying it, oh shit, we should have gone for the Spin Doctor. I missed that. He could Audacity here. I wonder if Archer and Archives was correct if they knew that we were on Iru. I doubt it, because then we just run R&D, but I think you just want a border control on it, because Iru is once per turn. And then you still take the tag, right? Shit, you're right. I was an Audacity in hand. Bob's trying to tell us. Crap. At least the HQ run made sense in that context. Undo click. Okay, that's good. We know it's an agenda. That's unfortunate. We have to watch out. He can always purge into a Mana Garm if he has it. I don't think he does. I don't think it's the end of the world. Ah, crap. Yeah, if we knew there's an Audacity, we should have gone for the Spin Doctor. It's not the most important. He's still going to do it. Hostile, nice. So now he can get a Rashida and put in server 1. It's a really sick play. So it's a Tempo Audacity, which means he definitely doesn't have cards in hand that he cares about. Unless he's like getting 5 3s out of hand, which when we have a Steve down makes sense. But now he's 10 cards. We have a bad publicity. That's a really cool board state. So here he wins by hollow minning a 5-3, which means we probably have to end up pinholing the any upgrade that we know is not rezzed, because any upgrade can be become a Hollowman. Nah, he's cool. I know how it is. Extract, gain 6 credits, fire op. Let's get rid of a Sandstone. Get rid of Malapert. Makes more sense. We're on game point. So we're going to get a 0 cost around the table. 13 credits. What a recovery. Starting on 3 credits. Now on Rashida. We have bad publicity. HQ should be wide open. As much as if it is, what's it called? If it's any sentry here, we're pretty upset. Okay. So Smiling Man is a threat. Is it a threat here? He would have to... Rashida, he can break lock, so I don't care about the Spin Doctor too much. I think we just do Iru. Go. The Rashida will draw 3. It will shuffle, so it always breaks lock, so I don't need to deal with the Spin Doctor, because you can search for a -1, and that works. Wow, that was a really good turn from Alex. So we're pretty sure this is a virus. If a virus gets purged into a Holloman, the Holloman can't fast advance a 5/3 unless he's on triple Audacity or draws a 5/3 and an Audacity. Because then he does install... No, that's still only 4 advancements. So I think Iru is an option. He probably Spin Doctor's back reflexively, like just to get cards out of there. But we need to get a Simul Chip down if we're going to contest HQ, which is only... It's not that good. It's just a steep draw. They can pop spin to put Audacity in their deck, yes, but even Holloman Audacity doesn't get there because it's install, 2 advancements, 2 advancements. Is there anything we want to draw into with Iru? I think we pinhole the Rashida. So we could run Spin Doctor, pinhole Rashida, Iru, float a tag. Seems bad. We definitely pinhole the Rashida. Iru, use Iru, pinhole Rashida, clear tag. I think that's fine. We'll sell the Propeller. There's still 5/3s, I think, in here. We have bad publicity. We need to trash stuff. He probably wants a Spin Doctor here, but if he has Rashida, he might not. On the basis that he thinks. We can always pay 1 here because of bad publicity. We paid 1, 6 fee. That's not a great draw, but we're assuming there's going to be a shuffle. Hostile, love it. Board control off the top. Okay. So we remove tag pinhole. They have all the money to make the tag painful? Yes. They do. So it was border control, Excavator first. Okay, now we're shuffling 100%. There actually might have been agendas in archives. I think there's a 5/3 in archives considering that play. So we don't know what's being drawn. We trash this for bad publicity. We have to like sell the Propeller. But now Arzon needs ice on archives. We saw 1 border control, so we know it's not on the table. So 2 unknown cards in hand. We still could lose from here if it's just Holloman in a remote server or Movirus in a remote server with a 5/3. Yes, this board state technically loses. So now here we have some interesting options. Thinking we have to sell something here because this is the last turn of the game. If we sell Oiler, we can reinstall it with Simul Chip and break stuff for free, or we can just sell Propeller. We're pretty sure this is a Movirus. If it was a bird, it would have been res by now. Easy Iqbal, welcome to stream. How's it going? We don't know what these 2 are. Worst case is Holloman into a 5/3. So we have to trash both of these. We can always run HQ and force a res. He can definitely res no matter what this ice is. And once it's resed, if it's not res, we can get like 2 pinhole back. Sell DJ? Yeah, sell DJ actually probably is the best, but that's only if we're betting that this is not over. Like, I think sell Propeller is... How much worse is it? We break Sandstone for 3 instead of 1. Don't we always Iru again? Yeah, we do, but like we want to commit to that sooner, later in the turn than sooner. Op is fired a fair bit, so R&D is like pretty crunchy in terms of agendas. There's a lot of agendas, I think. This deck is on usually 11 agendas, maybe 12 because of the 1-pointers. Okay. So we look at the heap, 3 pinholes are out. That's what we want for this server. So running HQ has some amount of threat. Simul Chip is +4 credits and a card draw. We could get a pretty merry down. It's a 1 in 17. I think we sell the Propeller. Okay. So we can start with Iru. We can see 2. If that fails, what do we do though? Running this is with the Simul Chip possible. In terms of the draws in our deck too, Trick Shots is like not great when the Archer's on the outermost. So clicking to draw here is probably akin to installing Simul Chip because Simul Chip is a draw with a lily pad. So I don't think we click to draw. I think we Simul Chip. The question is, what do we Simul Chip for? Because if we use the Simul Chip, we can go get a killer. Now, if there's a virus there, getting the coupulation's not great. Kiko, one of my favorites. Yeah, Kiko had a great weekend. A bunch of the players from QEH and QTM are playing it. Did great. So I switched to YouTube. Nah, it's all good. So we get Coalescence. We're plus 4 credits in a card draw. We don't spend a click on it. Otherwise, if we want to get into the remote server, we have Ika for Sentries. And we have a way to break this. I think we actually can charge server 1. We haven't drawn a Muse yet. Wait, was Tuna on Muse? Tuna's on 3 Muse. However, Muse into Mavirus is not a line we want to take. So I think here we probably do just get the money. I think we lose to the server more often than not, that we can just float the tag from Iru. So I think we'll do the first simul chip into a Coalescence, I'm pretty sure. We probably have to have like a bigger idea of how this turn is going to go. Right now, I'm just hoping that this draws into something good. A player who's played this more would probably have a better line here. But I think we want to see what this is because we have another simul chip. Also lag. Environmental, okay, that's no good for us. So I think our line here is Disrespect Managarm. Iru see a bunch on R&D. Draw for Mary, it's a 1 in 16. Like, our best draw there was Mary, I think. But it's a 1 in 16. I don't think we do it. I think we Iru, install simul chip, run server 1. This is where Nyasha would actually be pretty cool. Like, we're able to consistently produce Nyashas on these R&D runs, and I think Nyasha's on Breach. I don't think Nyasha's on Successful Run. I'll do this Iru first. Then I'll do this Iru. You ready? Fuck. Oh, that's not good. All right, so could have seen one more there. Oh, that's really bad for us. That's the worst case. We probably should have played around that. I forgot about this. We definitely should have played around that one, I think. So we can force him to have it. He probably has it here. So if he doesn't, we're fine. But like, it's very easy for this border control to become a 3-coster. The 3-coster become a 2. Audacity on the top is scary. This will shuffle. We're just gonna have to hope that this is like, we're gonna chase the border control out. It's fine. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Imagine having Hush in the deck here. Yeah. Yeah, Hush would be really good. That's another like good influence spend. It's wild how excited I'm. I think 3 pinhole slaps. 3 pinhole is so good. No wave influence for Hush. That's mostly because Akiko doesn't. I hit the wrong button. We need to do this. I think Arzon getting 2 extra credits here might matter. Because how much does it cost to score out a 4-2? Sorry, 5-3. You need to purge him a virus. Then it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it doesn't functionally matter. Us having 1 more credit probably doesn't functionally matter. I'll break all of it, but we could consider lighting 2 credits over. So what we're losing to here is either a virus or to a Holoman. Followed by... followed by a 5-3 already in the server. So I think we're cooked. We could have seen 1 more card on R&D. Maybe ping 0 made sense when we had bad publicity. I think that was a read that we'd pay some money. That's okay. But yeah, it's a 5-3. We're not in a good spot. The other line is like run HQ and then try and get through whatever this ice is, get back a pinhole. Crazy on archives. So sick. I'm sure that's a stunt though. I think Arzon has it here. Otherwise, you'd probably get something for the remote server. So we don't know what Arzon drew into. You can just trash Iru. Get out. Can we not run R&D again? No. Iru is once per turn. Archer, we could consider breaking. It's pretty expensive. Azyef. 2 Kana is going to get an ice on archives, I imagine. We lost all our hand. That's fine. It looks like an Azyef. Okay. So there might not be 5-3s in this list. My read is there's no 5-3s in this list. We still think there's a virus on server 1. Let's see where the ice goes for Tukana, because Chrism Grid we can trash. Okay, so Iru is cooked. So there's 1 card in HQ. Imagine. We don't pawn. Do we pawn Iru? We might pawn Iru. Thinking. So now the list has 2 audacities in it. At least 2 audacities. The one card in HQ, we don't know what it is. We could check. It's unlikely to be an agenda, but imagine. Like if it is an agenda, Arzon still has to do that line. Pawn Coalescence. Pawn Coalescence is the obvious pawn. I think we can keep Ear around and force a trash if we need to. Steve is really good on HQ here. We can go for Diesel. The chances that we don't pawn Coalescence if we go for spec work, but we only have 1 spec work. So I do think, yeah, we either could go for the double Simul Chip here, because Simul Chip is a card and 3 credits. We need to get through the Archer. We just need to run our DNC too. Okay, so we have 16 cards. Interesting game we have. So we can run HQ to get a Steve Trigger. Steve Trigger will get us a card of our choice, largely. So we can do 2 pinholes to get the Mavirus down. The Mavirus, it costs either, if it's, could also be a Holloman, but it's probably Mavirus into 2-pointer. We can also get down to Crisium Grid, and then we can force out the border control. We've seen a lot of 3-costers. So there's a chance that like Crisium Grid, sorry, pinhole to trash the Crisium, drops us a fair bit of money, and then we can brute force with Iru. That honestly might be a line. It's like kind of perverse, but it might be a line. The other option is just the other option is just to get through the Archer, which if we want to use Simul Chip to go get the Ika on Archer, we have to host it, which costs 2 credits. Unless we get a Muse, that does cheat it a fair bit. But we can host it for 2 credits. Then we can do 2, 4, 5, 6, break Sandstone, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Beatrice is this sort of board state. 100% you want Beatrice here. The problem is if we run R&D, like we only see 1 card unless we get down our friend. So I honestly don't know what to do here. We probably run HQ and we go for double Diesel. It'd be hard for that not to make sense. Crisium's so sick in boarding control. I feel like so many games I've been playing like tier 2 decks on JNet against Op, and they pull a Crisium Grid and the whole game ends. Because you have like this really one unfair way to interact with the game, and then suddenly Crisium shows down. I'm not calling this a tier 2 deck, but like I've been feeling it. I think Pudmo is really rough against Crisium, where like your whole deck is based on Cataloger. It's a Spin Doctor. I think we have to trash it for bad publicity. All right, Diesel. Burners, okay. We have the Muse. We have to figure out what we're going to use the Muse for here. Because Arzon still needs to win. If Arzon top decks a hostile takeover, we lose the game, but there's no way of us to interact with that favorably. So we can Muse, which draws a card. We can use Muse to install Coalescence. Coalescence gives us money and Pawnshop targets. I think that's probably it. Just play whatever we top deck aggressively. Do we have enough money to keep cleansing the tag and beat like a Sandstone Archives? Yeah. I don't think he's going to trash the Era. If anything, he trashes one of these. That's what we should consider clearing the tag for. We'll do the Lily Pad first, I think. I don't think we mind if we draw Coalescence. So now we'll go from either the stack. I think we'll go for the stack because we want to get closer to our trick shots. So do a Coalescence. Coupulation's also kind of cool. So do you think you remove the tag? If we remove the tag, so like what is Arzon's play? Arzon doesn't have a scoring server. If he top decks the last hostile, he wins the game. He might be only on 2. So we actually probably want to clear the tag because the tag is both Fenris, Aesops, and Iru. Don't keep running HQ because you won't find them in there. I think we're going to clear the tag. This might be wrong because I don't think he cares about Iru anymore with the Crisium boarding control. We have to make sure we don't run border control too late in the turn because you can always pop it to grab what like 3-cost fast advance trick. Even could be on calibration testing. This is hostile. He just has it. Fuck. He top decked the hostile. Get out. No action. We're not on Clot. Oh, it was a Cali the whole time. No. Oh, so good. Shit, we thought it was a Mavirus. It was a calibration testing. GG. Hey, well played. Thought that was... Yeah, we're just talking about that, being like, oh, it could be on calibration testing. That's this 3-coster that just gives you an advancement and fires op, which is really, really, really good. Yeah, that was 6. So that means he top decked the 3-2. And if that wasn't there, like, what does he do with the Eminent? He can't do much with it, and we probably have a way. So maybe we should have checked that. But like on 3 credits, we're not worried about a virus into the 2-coster into Holloman. Shuffle count 13. Oh, sick. That was a good game. I don't think we played it perfectly, but I think we had some very exciting lines there. That was a really fun game. And this list is cool. We have a lot of different pressure in different spots. And like, this is exactly what this list does, which is kind of unique, is that it does put pressure on every server uniquely, right? Like we have good archives pressure. We have good HQ pressure for multiple reasons. Our remote pressure is fine. Our breakers are like, you have to be way more creative to make these breakers make sense for you. And then R&D, no 3-pointers, right? Yeah, it was a really cool game. One SDS, it was in hand. Oh, that was on the hostile Audacity turn, right? Yeah, shit. We should have called that. Yeah, just gonna say. The turn where Arzon did the weird tempo hostile Audacity, which was a really good turn. It's because he had a 5-3 in hand and understood that like with Steve Cambridge we're running HQ, so he had to get rid of it. So it was in the bin. It might still be in the bin, but I'm pretty sure he put it back. Yeah, that was a really good turn. Is this the girls wins deck list from Bristol, Matt? Yeah, it is. We played 2 of the girls decks so far. This is their first game, I think, with Tuno's variant. But we also played the Harmon B variant. They're both really fun. For what it's worth, I haven't been stoked about the Akiko ability. I do think it changes how the corporation plays, but all parts of the deck are like really cool. It's just like a flexible Shaper engine. Descent was HQ ice at the time. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I was kind of worried about what's it called, a Winchester. Yeah, good game. Very scrappy. 40 minutes with lag, just in time for single side Swiss. Thanks to the game, eh? I want to save replay on that. That's probably pretty interesting. Who runs the net, girls? Who runs the net, girls? Dirty, how's it going? Okay. How are we doing on time? We have a GNK and like I can do maybe one more game, but I need to eat dinner and make sure my deck lists are good and get over there. It starts in about 2 hours. I think we can do one more game. It was not right. Bao pointed this out. I thought you were heavier on assets, but just getting a coalescence was like +2 credits. Can you tell us the IDs you're playing tonight? Yeah, it's a casual GNK, so I'm playing the IDs that I currently have sleeved up. I don't think between now and 2 hours I'll be able to like build a new deck or sleeve up a new deck. Maybe I'll actually build this deck because it's really, really fun. But I'm probably just gonna end up playing what I played at Toronto, so it'll be like PD and As, which is fun. It's good fun. Kills Mari got it. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Kills Mari. Hey, cheers. Hey, thanks again. Two hours before GNK is the perfect time to sleeve a new pile. I think we might have time to do it. I just don't know what. Like, I'd probably end up playing this in person. This in person is probably a bit trickier. I probably should play this in person. This deck is so fun. I just like, this is the thing that I'm worried. I'm going to go to an event and I think maybe, I don't know how like plugged into Netrunner DB a bunch of the folks there are going to be, but like reading, side games are fun, but reading, understanding Eru is there is pretty kind of going to be a thing that people might see. Sleeving stream. That's the thing I'm looking into. So we're filming at NANPC Montreal. And I found out the best way to do it, I'm pretty sure, it just came in the mail, is I have a little mount for a tripod so I can put a light on top of it, like this light here, and then just use a phone. My phone is pretty bad. It's a pretty old phone, so it doesn't have a good camera, but my partner has a nice phone and her camera is better than this camera I'm using right now. So we're going to film it on a phone, which makes a lot of sense. Which means, in theory, with a nicer phone setup, it's like actually relatively easier to use a phone and attach it to like an above cam thing, like what people do for webcams for like tabletop play over line, and then just have another camera. Which means there's a chance, if all that works out, that we can set up an impromptu like physical table here to do some live in gameplay stuff, not dissimilar to Neon Static, which we've done once or twice before. However, we don't have like the setup to do enough enough like side cameras to show people's faces. The last time we did in-table person play here with Pat, which was a ton of fun, I was usually for launches of sets when we had cards and paper, is we would do like 2 webcams for each player person and 1 camera on the table, except this room is also tiny. We'd have to get rid of the cat tree or move it out, stuff like that. So it's something I'd consider doing in the near future if it makes sense. I just don't think my computer is like at the point where it can hold access to all this sort of stuff. I use my phone for streaming. It works like a charm. Didn't afford a tripod, whatever, but it's made a stand out of Lego. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to make it make sense. And I know some good websites that allow you like send your webcam feed to OBS across the network and the lag is super, super minimal. So I might look into that into the near future. But the stand just came in today, so I'll check what it looks like. On that note, I think actually we're going to call it here. I still have a fair bit of stuff to do before the evening sneaks up on us. Again, NANPC Montreal is happening in just a bit. So if you want to grab your tickets, please grab them sooner or later so we know. There's a lot of prize support that has to be built, let alone put together. So there's a video we put up yesterday for those who are going to NANPC Montreal. And if you are not considering going to NANPC Montreal and you live in somewhat local spot, I highly recommend it to maybe consider it. It's going to be a lot of fun, I promise you, especially if it's your first tournament. I think it's going to be a great spot for someone's first tournament, let alone if you played for a bunch of tournaments. Do you have an Android? I can recommend Droid Cam. It works directly with OBS with little to no fuzz. Oh, I've never heard of that. Deeds, thank you. I'll check that out. How many players do you think we'll get from Montreal? Alex, I honestly don't know. Good game, by the way. Last year for Nats, we got 40. I would like to get about the same. I'm going to check in with the Silver Goblin to see what the ticket sales look like. I think there's a chance it'll be bigger. I'm just not sure like what sort of reach NANPC has to like casual players, which is a bummer because it actually is a better tournament for a lot of casual players. It might be more. It might be more than 40, but I'm assuming 40 is what I'm guessing for, which would make it a pretty big event in Canada. I would like to get more. I know a bunch of folks are coming from the States, which is really nice. Shout outs if you're traveling in. Again, check the pinned map for all this sort of stuff. Thanks for the stream. We'll watch the bond now. And speaking of thank you to all these names here and more. Again, the Métropole Grid, we're supported on Patreon. We put the time into editing and all this stuff, recording, streaming. We put a video up yesterday. Tonight, I probably won't get to finish it because of the GNK. So look forward to the weekend at the latest. We'll have up our first Canada's footage. We're joined by Eric Hayden of Neon Static, who joined to do some commentary. And then we have a couple videos of like, we're starting pretty late in the double elimination rounds, but that stuff will be up relatively soon. From that point on, next week, mind you, NANPC sneaking up on us. Next week on Thursday, we're going to have a special guest who's coming from far lands away, who will be in the city to join us for an in-person stream, which is going to be pretty exciting. It's Jeff. Jeff will be here, which is sick. So that'll be next week. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back here on Thursday as well. And then, of course, NANPC is just around the corner. Shout out to everyone who's going out to events. Again, like, it's just the coolest thing that, like, UK regionals are doing great. German nationals has good showing up. Like, just people showing up to stuff and people organizing stuff is the biggest deal to me. So hopefully you had a good weekend doing whatever you're doing, whether you're watching streams, participating, or going out and playing and organizing. Hopefully you had a great weekend doing it. That's mostly it. Again, we'll be out on Tuesday. We'll be out tonight on Tuesday night at L'Expedition. If you're in Montreal, you can drop by. It's a casual GNK. So just show up, all levels of play. It's going to be a good time. And that's mostly it. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'll be back on Thursday. Ciao.